Yo, big up to the crew. Yeah, big up to the crew locked in. Sorry we were late. Yeah, I was backstage with Velle and TYO. Sorry, it got a little bit chatty. Big up to Gurdeep, give thanks, sound system. Big up to Halima. I don't know who Skank Hunt is, but big up yourself as well. Uh, yeah, man. TOITN live back on Sunday. Big up to Schiffer making his debut at the park today. Footage courtesy of TNTS Greek. Not too much going on down there from what I can see today. Mr. Rack sent live, TNTS Greek didn't go live, but there's a couple little 108s that he put up. Big up Saruman, big up to Rayon, big up Dunya is nothing. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so maybe see if there's a stream later on. I think the other streams that are going on, we got 9E for live. I think Jedi is still live. Yeah, 9ETH is the place to be really if you want an alternative to this, or if you've been watching. So I think that's a follow up. That's like the whole is real like a groomer thing again. Oh, hold on, wait there. Yo, T, are you there? Oh yeah, big up, we're live. Yeah, so I was just doing a little intro thing, innit? Yeah, I think people know what the alternatives are. But yeah, you were talking about Caroline Flack just before we.
Caroline Flack. I didn't know. I didn't realize. I just found out a bit ago that it was suicide. She committed suicide, and there was some case, ongoing case between her and her partner. I think he's a model and a tennis player. I don't know what his name is, but she'd apparently assaulted him or something like that, and the police got involved, and there's like a case ongoing, but they'd sorted things out. But because he dropped the charges, but CPS decided to go ahead with it.
Suppressing, yeah.
And he wasn't allowed. They weren't allowed to see each other and stuff like that. And I think she committed suicide. She put a couple of posts up and stuff like that as well. You know, like relating to so much pressure. You know, having to take pressure one person on their own and not being allowed to kind of like be with their partner or something along them lines. You know, like touching on the fact that her and her partner can't see each other, and then she committed suicide.
People are saying about social media trolls having a part to play in it. I don't know. There's obviously the old school media pressure, paparazzi outside your yard and fucking cameramen everywhere and whatever else.
With the paparazzi, that's the thing though, Dan. With the paparazzi, it's when they make moves, the movements. Once they get inside the building, they're okay. They can't really get to them. But with this online thing, it's in their hand.
Social media, literally.
Social media is there in their hand when they go to the toilet, when they're in bed. It's literally there in their hand. So they get to see, it's like paparazzi, innit? Paparazzi, they're there straight away as soon as they open it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I heard there was an article today I was reading about. Apparently, she was getting like trolled from Fathers for Justice. So Fathers for Justice was saying, trying to sort of shatter the image of what domestic abuse can look like. Obviously, she licked my man over the head with a fucking lamp or whatever while he was sleeping. Like, he's asleep. The text message comes in. She interprets some text message a certain way, and then just thinks, "You're cheating on me, yeah? All right." Boom, and started hitting him with the lamp or whatever. And well, this is what we were told, isn't it? This is what we were told, and he's supposed to have called the police. She's there screaming in the background. Police turn up. They're both covered in blood. He's holding her down. I don't know. It sounded messy, man. It sounded a bit messy, innit? I don't know. The newspapers are sort of focusing on the fact that she like never found love. She was like looking for love, and dated Prince Harry, dated this one, that one, and was looking for Mr. Right. And I don't know. I'm not too sure, man. And I think it's it's kind of symptomatic of the type of relationships people have in this generation, right? Women wait until they're way past the point. Like I don't know.
She's touching 40, I think.
I think she was 40, innit? But
Yeah.
I can't say what she wanted, if she wanted kids or not, but a lot of
She looked good for 40 though. Still.
yeah, she did. But she obviously there were certain things that she wanted. You don't kill yourself
Yeah.
if you're like you're fulfilled. And don't get me wrong, that sort of pressure, media and you're maybe gonna lose your job and whatever else. Yeah, it's a lot, but I guess I don't know. There was something on that. I think there was something there, man. You don't.
She did though. She lost her job though.
Well, she
She got replaced.
she got replaced.
Love
Yeah.
Island. She got replaced on Love Island, I think, by her friend, another
But
presenter.
Ali said he was crying last night. You know. But Ali, I'll drop out the
What?
link, man. Yeah, Ali said Ali Khan was crying.
Or is he a Love Islander?
He probably is, to be fair.
Yeah.
Shahid as well. Very emotional time. But I don't watch enough TV for this stuff to really affect me, you know. I don't really watch enough TV. If someone's
To be honest with you, I think she was either.
I don't watch enough TV, to be fair. She might have been a nice person. I don't know. I don't really know that much about her, to be honest. But yeah, mental health is real. Domestic abuse is real. Yeah, life is real, man. I guess fame and money don't necessarily guarantee you're gonna be happy. So yeah, we'll see what Addy's saying when he jumps in anyway. But I thought it was interesting that they're sort of taking this angle that Love Island should be cancelled. There's this like curse on Love Island because I think this is the third. It's the third suicide. She's like the presenter, and then two of the people who've been on the show have committed suicide. So I don't know.
That I'm out somewhere. But the thing with her was I used to watch her on Saturday TV growing up, so I found it more thrilling. Because I've known her since I was a kid, innit? And I felt like I grew up watching her on TV.
All right.
You've known her since you were a kid?
Yeah, I used to watch her on Saturday TV, innit? For 3 years, she did TMI. I used to watch her on Love Island. I used to watch her. I used to have a crush on her. She was my first crush, Dan. So.
Well, sorry,
I'm
bro.
gonna go now.
You're gonna get emotional.
Huh?
You're not gonna get emotional.
I'll come back. Innit? I'm out of my house, innit? I'll come back in a bit, innit?
Later on, bro.
But I've got some interesting info on this anyway, so I'll give it to you.
Ali Khan with the scoop, man. Yeah, bro, no probs. Yo, stop trolling James SC so hard as well, man. Ease up on James SC.
I've been following this story for a while. I'll break it all down for you later on. I'm not trolling James SC. I beg you, stop being. Some guy trolled me. I'm not James SC. I'm not the fake James SC.
All right. Okay, now. Big up to Carnito. Gurdeep said it was Ali's first wank. It probably was. You could confirm later. Yeah, shit. Big up to I don't know who Education Think is, but welcome. You just jumped in the back chat. Do jump on the panel if you feel to. Khan, you should already be in. I think I added you into the back chat still if you want to jump in. Man said R.I.P. Caroline. I think she lived quite close to you, innit? She lived like round like Stokey. Clapton. Between Clapton and Stokey. Yeah, it's Khan's little neck of the woods. Big up to Christina. Is that Christina Milian? Christina Milian. Shahid's been playing Street Fighter 4. Yeah, so he says. Yeah, man, you do your thing, bro. Stick on the Street Fighter 4. Yeah, so what's been going on? Yeah, we were talking a little bit about the dramas that's been going on this week. I think I think that drama is just going to continue, but obviously, you know how it is. The panel's open, so if anyone wants to jump on, if it's Ras, or if it's Walla Walla or whatever, and that goes that way, then it goes that way. But yeah, trying to steer clear of the drama still. The corner's been quiet today.
Yeah, I think the weather's played a big role in that.
Yeah, shitty weather, man. And also
Uncle Usman was there. Trust him to be there. Come rain or shine, sleet or shine.
What stream were you watching? Were you watching the was that Unite?
There was a Let's
Let's
Unite
Unite upon Hack. Yeah, the Hack. Yeah, I saw that stream.
And I think there was who else? I think NASA went down, but when NASA went, it was really dead. That was like right early though.
Big up to Schiffer, made his debut today. I think he's still down there. Someone should tell him
Who's
to get
Schiffer?
on.
Yeah, I've seen him in on a couple of the videos.
Yeah.
Is he on Hangouts?
Yeah, he's on Velle's stream, man. He's been on Velle's stream like hard the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a funny guy still. Yeah, he made his debut today, and because there was a lot of talk. My man Dave Smith was like, "I'll come and find you. I'll
To Schiffer.
Yeah, to Schiffer. Schiffer was like, all right, cool, man. Just meet me on this road. I don't know, bruv. It was a weird little exchange, and Dave Smith kind of like, he got humbled, and then Schiffer was like, bruv, I'm going to the corner on Sunday. Like, I'm going to be at the corner on Sunday. Man turned up, man of his word. Took on the Hebrew Israelites, stepped in first thing, triggered the Hebrew Israelites.
What is Schiffer?
I think he's a Christian. He's a Christian, and he's just I think he's an interesting guy still. If you hear him on G Block, he's an interesting guy.
No, I've seen the name. No, I remember the name. I remember the name in the car thingy.
Yeah, man. I'm saying the drama is so dumb, and it's been past the week. Yes, it has been past the week. Well, big up to the people who like the banter, like the entertainment.
Has it been a week now?
3 days. Yeah, it's been 3-4 days. This is the 4th day.
Yeah.
I don't really know where it all started, to be honest. I know there was it must have it's been simmering for the week, I would say.
Yeah.
If anybody knows where the exact genesis of this particular beef was, we could discuss it in like abstract, I suppose, because I don't really know too much about where it started, to be honest.
Where do you start? There's so many. Beefs involved in this.
If anyone can neatly pin down an event from this week that is maybe the start of it, then let us know. What else has happened? Raj is telling people to go to the police now and saying that people should. Betty and Real and I don't know, a couple others should sue Raspect. I don't know. It's all sounding a bit mad, to be honest, and I don't know if that's gonna prevent all of the slander. I don't think people, if that's what people's issue is.
Yeah, but you have to prove that the slanders had some sort of
financial impact.
Yeah, it's all to do with finances.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know who can prove that, but if you got the money as well, then that's up to you, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know.
Hello.
Shahid, what's going on, bro?
What's on the Shahid?
Walk one. What's people saying?
You're good, man. What's been going on?
Chilling, man, chilling. I just been banging out the Street Fighters too. So what's new?
Yo, yeah, cool. Sorry about that. Big up to Mad Dunya in the chat. Fucking hell. Got who's that? Suleiman in the chat as well. Nemesis Prime, big up yourself. Rashmar, big up. Big up to Anonymous. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying, Shahid? You've been playing Street Fighter?
Yeah, man, we practice the Street Fighter 4 still.
Bruv, if you can't do this hangout fighter business, you're not really about that life, bruv.
No, I can, bro. I'm just waiting for the opponents too. Anyone can get it, you get me? Where's Dan, bro? Oh, he's muted his mic. Alright. Yeah, walk on, people. Walk on. Let's see what people say.
Yo, say that again. Sorry, I got a call.
Yeah, no, I was saying that whatchamacallit, anyone can get it, you get me? Anyone can get it at Street Fighter 4, you get me, on the PC. All
Bro,
you
it's been
gotta
about a
do is
year.
just let me know.
It's been about a year.
Huh?
I don't think you've played Ultra Funky yet.
You're not finessing people at Street Fighter, are you?
What?
You're not finessing people at Street Fighter, you're like hustling them.
I've been finessing people on Street Fighter 4 still, yeah. That's why I'm calling out anyone. If you got it on PC, if you got it on PC, then come out in it.
Easy now.
With the call out, it's been laid down. Yeah, I think Shahid, you got to put some money on that if you want to get the response you're after. You saying £5? £5 for the
£1, bro. £1.
I said £1.
£1 fish, fam.
Boy, I don't know about that.
£1. If you want £5, no problem.
Yeah, I don't know what you've done to Jack with
But
the big pack. Man said that
I don't think nobody want. What's he saying?
He said Shahid is the official timekeeper. He has nothing else of value to add. That's a disrespect.
Yo, Jack with the big pack. Listen, if you got Street Fighter 4, I dare you challenge me, because I'll bang you out within a minute, bro. Simple, clean, fam, you get me?
Yeah, Shahid. What was I gonna say? I think you need to actually get it lined up. You need to have some demonstrated wins before people start to want to step up. James SC was putting out a link to chess the other day. He got banged over by Pat on Velle's. Yeah, it was
Listen. I can bang GMSU on Connect 4, man. What are you on about?
I don't think you did though. I'm not sure who did, but maybe we could do a little bit of Connect 4 later on. Might step up to the challenge still. But yeah, we'll see. No. Madden said I saw Zabida's latest video earlier and I saw Shahid in comments saying he was gonna slap up Waleed. Mad thing.
Yeah, I'm talking truth, fam.
I don't think you need to be doing that.
They be slandering man as well.
Bruv.
Calling man off.
You see,
I ain't afraid of nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
You see me then. Yeah, I pulled up in their ends, fam. I pulled up in their ends on my own. You get me? I've done it on my own once, fam.
What do you mean their ends, bro? London's a big place, you know, Shahid. It's not Corporation Park. But yeah, still.
Yeah, I pulled up in London. I pulled up in London when I'm supposed to be in my own ends.
Shahid, cool.
You get me?
COE, big up yourself.
I pulled up on my ones.
Yo, content, are you at the park? You ain't down there today? See, we in the chat. Bruv. Trying to get myself down to the park at some point as well. I just don't want to catch no fucking coronaviruses. See me down there with a mask, man. Ain't coming out my yard, I don't know. Yeah, it's mask business straight. These are Shahid to explain the logic of calling himself a lion vet but having a monkey avatar.
You want me to explain? It's quite simple. If you know who Uncle Rafiki is, say no more in it.
Well, there you have it, Jack. See, we just left the
Uncle
park.
Rafiki, that's all you gotta know.
I hope I don't catch it. Halima Sultan has got coronavirus, apparently. That's what the chat is saying. That's what the speculation is. But yeah. Yo, Halima, I thought you were boycotting the channel anyway. I thought you boycotted it after, when was it? You boycotted it. You had Passa with Raj. And I had to regulate the panel and I kicked you and Grey Dunya off the panel. You're like, I'm not coming back on the channel. Boycott Dan.
Oh, Velle is up in the building.
Yo, big up Velle.
Come on, now we do. G block in this bed sheets.
Yeah, man, big up the G
Hey,
blockers.
shout out my little brother Schiffer, yeah? differently. If you want to catch more Schiffer footage, check out Pinero's Mind's YouTube, and you'll see more of him on there still. But
Wait, the Pinero's. What's that?
Pinero's Mind.
Don't even know.
I'll tell you what, yeah. I'll post a link to the
I
channel
saw
in the
him
back chat.
on TNTS Greeks though.
Yeah, TNTS Greek's got 2 videos of him from today. Yeah, drop a link in it if you drop a link in the back chat. Yeah, catch Schiffer on G Block as well. Monday to Saturday. He's been holding it down, man. I think he's yeah. If you were gonna consider putting a theist on G Block, you should put Schiffer on there just for the just to keep it, yeah, man. We're talking about what is it the requirements to get into G Block. So we're saying like there's certain things that would rule you out or rule one out.
Have you heard of the Jihada?
The Jihada, yeah.
You gotta take the Jihada. Yeah, man.
So what are you saying?
This is the criteria. You gotta say I don't believe in the God of the Bible or the Quran, and then you're in.
I was thinking about this. The one. Yeah. So you got Steve the Atheist. What are you saying? Steve the Atheist can't join G Block then, no?
Steve the Atheist.
Yeah.
Where's he want to join G Block for?
Yeah, I heard he was. I heard he's lurking. I heard he's scoping the blocks, man.
Who Steve the Atheist?
Yeah, Steve the Atheist scoping, man.
Oh man, you ain't got no racist dons in G Block, fam. Do you know what? Actually, yeah, differently. Yeah, G Block's a political thing, innit? Yeah, so it's not like about racism and all them sort of shits. You get me? It's about like it's literally just about having debates or talking about shit with people that disagree, sort of thing, innit? Like, so obviously we agree that the people in G Block agree that we don't know who or if there is a God, yeah. So that's sort of what it is, isn't it? Anything else apart from that, outside of that, is like you're a free agent. So anyone that is a G Block or a G Block associate, yeah, we only link up on the atheism / agnostic sort of thing. Anything else is you're a free agent. You get me? So
all right. So let's say you don't believe in God, but you believe in ghosts. Are you allowed on G Block?
Yeah, well, I'm probably still gonna laugh at it.
Yeah, man. I'm sure, yeah, I reckon there's a couple of them still. There's a couple of them out there who are like, yeah, they don't believe in God, but they think their house is haunted, or they think their dead cat is still in their yard somewhere or something. I don't know, man. Yeah, man. Halima said she's gonna make a masjid on the block.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Halima Sultan's gonna put a flag down.
Let's just say, yeah, I'm creating my own block. It's
Lego
called,
block.
No, it's called the Street Fighter block.
Street Fighter block. It's got to be. You can leave that, man.
It's got to be
punchier. So I send my
punchier
Street
than
Fighter
that.
shooter over to your block.
Street Fighter block, yeah, the Street Fighter block.
Street Fighter block, yeah. Don't let me send that unholy spirit ultra over to you. You know.
Listen. You listen. Tell your boy Ultra. Yeah, I already been sharing my screen of Street Fighter 4, and let's get it going, fam.
I don't think Ultra's. I don't think he's still about that, to be honest. I think you had a good 6-7 month run where Ultra Funky really wanted to get this Street Fighter title and shove it down your throat, but I don't think it's.
But you were scared, and he was running, fam. So you can't even talk about Street Fighter. I don't even know why you even talk about it. You're better off talking about cats.
Man. Listen. I've been challenging, man, and I challenged him. He said I'm gonna accept it, and then he didn't show up. Yeah. So as far as I'm aware, yeah.
Come on, listen to what the man like James Jones, aka James as Christ. You get me? Man like James Jones, aka James is Christ, just said, I'm on G Block and I believe in ghosts. Dan, Pizza, Jordan M.
Nah, man.
A few people that have died on the block.
I've never died. Never died on the block, man. I've yet to die on the block, but thank you. James, you need to make sure that Finest One don't catch you again, bruv. Yeah? That's all I'm gonna say, bruv. Just make sure I heard certain things this morning, so that's all I'm gonna say.
You said you rewinded, yeah?
Yeah, there's a couple ghosts in the lines then, bruv. I don't know about on G Block, but there's some bones. There were some bones, I think, left on the lines then yesterday. So yeah, reanimation. I'm gonna breathe the breath of life back into that one, I think. Yeah, man, G Block, big up to Abu Bilal. Yo, Abu, I don't know why you set that kryptonite guy on me, man. Every single time he comes around, you're not here, and he wants to get on the panel and talk the most about Aisha and age of this and that and whatever else. He's like, Abu Bilal, he told me to come here. I don't want to talk. I'm not telling you where I'm from. I won't tell you about my life. Where's Abu Bilal? Yeah, it's pretty much.
Do you know what? Yeah, I swear that kryptonite used to be on Google Hangouts with a different name.
Yeah, someone said that.
He thinks everyone's a Muslim, and I swear, and it's like anything you say, he like wants to debate you about Islam.
Yeah,
I was like, he wanted to debate me about Islam. He's going to me, you're a Muslim, and I said, brother, I am a Muslim.
Nah,
you sure, bro? I'm the worstest Muslim out there, then, bro. If I'm a fucking Muslim, you know what I mean? That, right?
Yo, but bro,
I ain't been to the mosque once. The only time I did go there was to fucking on Google Hangouts. None was in a debate. Not at the time. Mad thing.
Who is Edo Tensi? Edo Tensi. No idea you're talking about, Nemesis Prime. Yeah, what are you saying about KS? Big up yourself. Big up to K. I don't think you're in this back chat. Yeah, you got into beef. In fact, yeah, Halima, jump on if you got a chance. Jump on because I want to know what happened with you. Yeah, she cracks me up, but then when she's got beef with someone, like she had beef with K. I don't know what happened with her and K. She was calling K a devil worshipper and all of this. Saying why'd you
Christian K?
Yeah, Christian. I was like, that's Christian K. You know? I don't think she's a devil worshipper. And yeah, the next thing they're having this argument that went on back and forth until about.
Oh, you talking about the K from the park?
Yeah, K from the park. Yeah, and Halima.
Okay, I was talking about them. Okay.
Halima ended up like arguing with her until about 7 in the morning or something, and then dashing her out the hangout. I woke up the next day and I just see this like wall of text, and then Halima has removed KS from the hangout. I was like, fuck, you know.
No.
You should have just.
Oh, so that's who KS is, yeah?
Yeah, that's who KS is, yeah. She said nothing happened. Yeah, you wouldn't have known it. You just get sniped and that's it, you're gone. But still, yeah, I don't think K worships the devil, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, you should get Oh wait, never said she's a devil worshipper. Nah, I think you did because you were arguing with Jem Wallace about the same thing still. But yeah, very best worst Muslim on G Block. Yeah, Halima still thinks you're a Muslim. Yeah, she said you're the worst. You're the best worst Muslim on G Block. Fuck it up.
Best worst Muslim on G Block, trust me. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, man, my thing's done.
James, man, sort out your grammar, bruv. It didn't bang. Bruv.
Hey, Shahid, have you got another account called Dominant Fools?
I don't even know. Nah, I don't even know that. I don't know about my account, bro.
Oh shit. Here we go.
Right, just cool it out, man. Let's get it.
Here we go.
Why are you asking me about some next, man? I don't know, bro.
Nah, I was asking you if it's your account, innit, man?
Shahid, how many accounts have you actually got?
Wait, hold on a second. Hey, Shahid. Hey, listen. See, when you talk to the boss, you best talk with some blood clot respect, is it?
You see me?
That's not my account.
You see me?
That's not my account. I'm telling you straight up, that's not my account, bro.
No, but when you see when you talking to the boss though, yeah, the boss, you get me? G Block, boss round your side.
That's not
Some
me.
respect. You get me? You get me, Shahid?
Not
Get
me,
me.
fam. Me don't run them things there, you get me? Me don't run them things around there.
Yo, Velle, don't make Shahid
Hey,
get his
Shahid.
brother. I mean, if he has to get his brothers on you, bruv, it's sticky for G Block, you know.
Oh, man.
Man, they bring the Corporation Park crew down.
Chelsea. He's gonna bring Nature Boy to G Block and shit.
All I gotta say is, yeah, I don't know them youths, because if you want to bring them over there, then you bring them in it. I ain't a part of G Block. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Alright, the countdown to the entrance.
All right. I'll allow you this time. You get me, Shahid? I'll allow you. You get me, Shahid?
Not me.
Yo, KS is calling him an Israelite. Schiffer ain't an Israelite, you know, KS.
Yeah, he's an Israelite. He's not a Hebrew. He's an Israelite.
Is he Israelite?
He said he's not a Hebrew. He's only an Israelite. And I said, how do you work that one out, then, son? He's like, boy, he's gonna have to tell you, man, because he's gonna have to explain it. People are gonna ask him this question a million times still. The Hebrew Israelite dons in the park weren't feeling it though.
Never touch my God today.
Alright, Israelite, yeah. Yo, Raj, the link's out there, bruv. I put the link out already. Did I not?
I'll send the link to Raj 1 second.
That's what I sent out.
Why is he writing in capital letters?
Bruv, I don't think Raj ain't got no functioning keyboard, bruv.
He's writing in capital letters like there's an emergency happening and he needs to jump in here right now to warn us about. Don't do this or you're going to get coronavirus. If you do this, you're going to get the coronavirus. All right? Black power.
Fuck's sake.
Why is the link not working, fam?
Which link? No, I sent the link, man. KS incoming. Big up to Mad Dunya. Big up Real One. Big up to. Do you know what? I'm not gonna big up Speakers Corner Skits. Bun Speakers Corner Skits.
Oh, why? What happened?
I can't remember, man. There's some reason.
Yeah, the Speakers Corner Skits. You know what? Yeah, I had a little
Skits is annoying, man.
The skits, but I allowed it still.
Annoying.
I don't think that they're from. I don't think they're from UK in it, so they get some of their words twisted, sort of thing.
Speakers Corner Skits. Which country are you from?
I don't think they're from the UK. They get some of their words twisted in it. So, and then it's like, it seems like they're talking a madness, and it's like, bruh, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Abu Bilal, big up yourself.
Abu Bilal, big up, fam.
Really?
Welcome, fam.
I told you send me your number. I got somebody that needs a plumber.
Oh yeah, shit, my bad.
You buoyed me off like you don't have money.
That was ages ago, you know.
That's money calling, you know, Velle.
The man, his whole heating system packed in. He's got one from the 70s. He's gonna need a bit of place still. Like it's a big job.
Yeah.
Bro, you might get 500. You might get a couple. What are you saying, Velle? Do you get scrap? You get like the old boilers and that. Do you weigh them in? And like pipes.
Some copper.
Yeah, the brass.
Copper, pumps, brass, stainless steel.
You get paid well for that.
Yeah, copper, brass. Yeah.
Depends what the weight is, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. If it's like a massive cylinder, then that's worth some money. But just little bits, then you've got to save up a weight there.
Interesting to know.
Alim is saying Velle ain't the only plumber in the UK. Yeah, but he's the only plumber you know on Hangouts. So
come on.
You know what? I'd rather give it to somebody I know.
Bad man plumber, though, isn't it?
Even though I don't know you, but you know.
Yeah, what are you saying? You got what's your maximum call out radius, Velle?
You mean that, bruv? I ain't coming to Oxford.
I've come Oxford, man. It's not even that far, bro. You might as well just come, bro.
Yeah, I ain't coming to Oxford unless I'm getting that Vista bonus. You get me?
The Vista bonus, bro. What you saying? Free coronavirus top up, yeah?
Nah, man. I
Hey,
need that
bro,
Vista bonus. I need that Montclair top up. About Corona. I don't need that coronavirus top up. I need that Montclair top up, bro.
Yo, yeah, you go to Bicester Village, you get the coronavirus, bro. I don't know about that, bro. Fuck, you know. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I'm steering clear of Bicester Village for the moment. But yeah, bro, big up Velle and big up the plumbers on. Big up to who else? Who else is on here? We got architects. Big up to Mr. Architecture. Got electricians. Big up to Don't Feed the Trolls. Top Sparky on Hangouts. You got Ultra Funky. Top bus driver.
Mills is the plumber as well, man. Mills and Nay from Gang. You get me?
Yeah, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Raj.
All right.
You got a special announcement here, Raj?
Oh, big up, Velle, big up. No, I'm just going to bun some fire on all those little turds in the chat who time me out, you little pricks. And Speaker's Corner Skits there. Speaker's Corner Skits is from the UK. He's just thick and a retard. He can't speak English, even though he's brought up in the UK. He can't speak English properly. Yeah. Go to school, Pudida. Yeah, go to your English teacher and give them a slap for teaching you such bad grammar.
Speaker's Corner Skits had some mad conspiracy theory about where Respect had gone. Some mad theory. Yeah, it was posting these like spam messages in every back chat saying.
Oh, he's an idiot, man. That guy goes Speaker's Corner, you know.
No, he don't go Speaker's Corner.
He does. I know he goes Speaker's Corner because I don't want to say too much. He's at Speaker's Corner.
Hey, Dan. You showed you the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh shit, man.
Hey, is that Abu Bilal?
Who did you have to follow at your darkest light?
Dude, is that Abu Bilal?
The godless one. Yeah, the godless ones.
Abu Bilal. Is that you?
Why are you asking a dumb question?
No, I just wanted to know.
Why are you asking a dumb question?
Because you said you want to kill the deviant sects within Islam. Didn't you say that yesterday?
Yesterday?
Yeah, I got the recording. You said that they were asking you, what do you do with the deviant sects? And you said kill them.
You fight them, yeah. You kill them. If you really want to be sincere, you'll notice I put in the chat several times. They either accept, leave, or die.
All right.
Yeah. All right. If you want to be accurate.
Yeah. Your folder that you now got folders on you jihadis. Your one's full now.
Keep doing it because I'll just fucking do you for stalking me. You cunt.
It's full now.
Right.
I might need to send a pigeon by post.
All right, send it, bro. Send it. I ain't worried about you.
You're speaking mad reckless, you know.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know whether you think you're some kind of goddamn, I don't know, jihadi warrior.
Bring it, bro. Bring it. I would love to fucking put you in your place.
Yeah.
Bring it, bro. Bring
it. Yeah. Stand in line.
I truly am not worried about you.
No, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I'm nobody, man.
I know. That's the thing. Like, you sit there in your corner in your bedroom.
I'm not nobody. I'm nobody. I know you're nobody. I'm nobody. That's fine, man. But I got a feeling.
Hey, Raj, you love trouble in it, man.
He loves it. He thinks, he's got to sit in his corner. He's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
I've got his number on my phone as well, you know.
Dude, let me say something. When someone's when someone's calling me an Islamophobe, like these guys do, and they're calling for the death of fellow Muslims, I can't take you seriously. This is why I don't take Islamophobia seriously, because you want the death of Shias. So you want the death of everybody that doesn't follow your doctrine.
If you're not going to take the context of the conversation, just
no.
If you ain't going to take the context of the conversation,
I've got the whole conversation. I've got the whole conversation, including
obviously that. So what you said? What was the context then? Was that like in a perfect Islamic state, or was that like
the question was asked? Who pays the jizya?
Right.
And this is the thing, we don't want you from you because you
I know.
fall under jizya. We kill you. So fuck off.
Yeah. So you kill me. Yeah. Cool. That's why the Sikhs bust your ass, man. Because you wasn't giving that. We
big up.
Aurangzeb died, man, and his general got his head beheaded. Big up Banda Singh Bahadur for doing that, man. Big up. Don't worry about that, man. We got our just deserves there. Don't worry. We got our revenge as well. So you're saying under jizya. I wouldn't be given the option.
You'd be given the option.
What's the option?
In the middle of the argument, yeah. You see, in the middle of the argument, yeah. So both sides. Don't you see how, from someone that's standing on the outside of religion, looking in, yeah. You man.
Oh no, he's bringing religion now. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so you can hear what he's saying. Under Islamic kind of his version of Islam, that I would not even be given the jizya. I would be either told to convert or die. And do you think that's just
or leave? Don't forget the third option I put up. You piece of shit. Accurately.
Or leave. Yeah. And you're really a great guy, aren't you?
I am indeed. I'm a great guy like you.
Yeah. What a lovely guy. And then you want people to say, "Oh, why are you Islamophobic?
Yeah,
why are you Islamophobic, Raj? When you're talking about killing people."
It's not that you're Islamophobic, Raj. It's just that you're a cunt.
I'm a cunt. I'm a prick as well. Yeah.
Abu Bilal, you're from East London, isn't it?
No, I'm North Tottenham all day.
You're Tottenham. Good. Oh, thanks, man. Let me write that down. Tottenham.
Yeah, right.
I've got a picture as well.
N15 4FX is my postcode.
All right. Cool. All right. Thank you for
all right, mate.
No problem. I told you, when you find out who I am, phone up Wood Green Police Station and ask me if I'm a person to fuck with.
I don't give a shit whether you're some gangbanger or whatever.
I'm not a gangbanger, bro. I'm not a gangbanger. I'm telling you that right now. I ain't no fucking gangbanger.
Do you think I care that you're some dangerous individual?
Dangerous at all, bro.
You need to be locked up.
I wouldn't harm you at all, bro. I would use the establishment to fuck you.
All right, so do it.
You get fucked again in your ass in prison.
You know what? Yeah. Do you know what? With you, yeah, you'll be there with me, and they'll be fucking you at the same time.
Use lots. Let's have a debate about a topic at the same time. Yo. Let's get into a topic in it because if we don't set a topic.
But I hope you lot notice, yeah, that this guy's harassing me, yeah, because I said nothing to him, yeah.
Poor Abu Bilal, poor you.
Yeah.
If like what's happening now, yeah.
Don't worry.
If there's no topic to refer back to, once it gets out of hand, it just spills over and keeps going until someone else.
So let me give a topic then. Yeah, I'm gonna bit the topic.
Let's work out.
You see, that kind of disrespect. I've built my channel down. You know that.
I'm joking, Dan. I'm joking.
You know, you're backtracking, innit?
I know. I'm joking. I know you're, you don't understand humor, as you got too much jihadi blood in you.
But Raj.
It's called respect, you cunt.
Why are you trying to say that Abu Bilal has said something from his own views?
I've got the audio.
Yeah, but he
don't worry.
He was asked clearly, what do you do to the deviant sex? He said, kill them. That's what he says. I got the audio.
I think you might be wrong about it.
No, anyway. do you want to play it to you? Because I've actually got the audio. I can put it on the thingy now. Let me just get it. So you said it yesterday. And another thing is, your other guy, Mahid, jumped onto Raspik last night and started brandishing a knife towards a Shia. I got that recorded as well. So is that acceptable?
Because they cut themselves.
So what does Mahid have to do with me exactly? Wait. Who have I ever spoken to Mahid?
What I'm saying is that
answer the fucking question. Have I ever spoken to Mahid?
All right, you're gonna calm down. You're triggered.
Have I ever spoken to Mahid?
Are you triggered or are you going to calm down?
Why are you associating me with people that I've never even spoken to?
Let me explain something. Saladin, your boy Mahid, jumped onto Raspik. There was a guy called this other guy called...
I know. And why did he do
it? He put his camera on. He had a big old freaking knife and started brandishing it,
Why did he do it?
I know what his reasoning was, but I would say that is an inflammatory thing to do, when you're sitting on a panel.
And holding a rifle with a mask on, isn't it?
To me, first of all, if he's saying it's because of people cutting themselves, that's still out of order. But I don't give a shit. That guy is brandishing a knife. Yeah, with the Shias on the thingy, saying the Shias are this and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Now, at the end of the day,
now you are putting a spin on it.
No, they asked him, "What are you doing with the knife?" And he was like brandishing it, and he was going, "Oh, the Shias cut themselves." But look, let me tell you this here: this guy Mahid hates. What I'm trying to explain to you is this: don't call me Islamophobic when you guys are Sunni Muslims. Yeah, a lot of you are more Islamophobic than me. Yeah, I can't take you seriously.
I'll call you an Islamophobe once,
you treat the Shias like shit, and you expect me to treat you good.
But now you're getting off topic. We're talking.
No. I'm the topic is
one second, Raj.
It's all right. He's gonna tar us all with the same brush.
All right, so let me get the audio.
So we can call you an Islamophobe in that case.
Raj, this is what you do. You start mixing people and like snippets of conversation together to like some big like jihadi pool, you know?
Dude, just go and play your guitar, man. You should be playing guitar. You was a better person then, man. Just play the guitar, relax. Like,
Raj, you might have been a better person, alcoholic.
Yeah, I was actually. I'm not. Let me say something. I'm not gonna even lie. I was a very jolly drunk. Yeah. And now I'm a right prick.
I thought you used to get into I thought you used to get into fights, Raj. That's what you told me. You used to get into fights.
No, but that was because the thing is that if you're drinking for 12 years, you're gonna get into some fights. Yeah, it's just as simple as that. So over a 12-year period, I probably got into like 5. That's not a lot if you think about it. Is it a lot? I don't know. I wasn't fighting. I was mainly kind of like I don't know, kind of like punching air, and I was getting hit. Yeah. So it's more me punching air, and I was getting hit. But yeah, I don't think that's a lot, is it? I got arrested twice. So I don't know. Yeah. So with this guy here, yeah, I don't take your guys' allegation of Islamophobia seriously because you lot are more Islamophobic towards your own minorities than anyone could ever be towards you.
If we don't consider them Muslims, we can't be Islamophobes.
Well, I consider them Muslims. So.
Well, that's nice. You ain't Muslim to be able to define that.
Well, I can.
You don't even believe in Islam to begin with.
I can decide.
Yo, to be fair, Raj, did you hear what? Did you hear Jada Franson tell Shia Issa that he wasn't a real Muslim?
That was the best.
That was cold blooded.
Jada Franson made that fear on Shia Issa.
She did that fear on Shia Issa, man.
Even somebody who doesn't understand Islam like that knew and recognized that he weren't a fucking Muslim.
Well, I consider them to be Muslim, and I think they're better Muslims than you.
Well, I consider you to be a cunt.
Yeah, I am though. I am. It's true. I am. I'm even more than that. Do you know what it is? I'm actually your cunt.
Not at all.
Yeah, but
I'm your actual own personal cunt.
Who's the Roman Catholic?
Well, I like to play with cunts.
Yeah. I bet you finger that cunt.
Yo, don't have the back on it. Calm down.
What going here with the fingering jokes, bro? These days.
I don't know what's going on there, man. I don't know what's
respect on the brain, man.
I have to admit.
Bro, like people want to fucking. So I don't know, Raj. I want to ask you this, yeah.
I'll be back right now.
Okay, wait. I want to ask Raj for clarification reasons. I heard this.
Raj,
told me this. Wait, Fagafas told me this, yeah?
That was been lying again.
Listen.
I'll get that Fogger,
basically, he said that obviously Walid said, or I heard the recording, Walid said he's going to fight Raspek and finger him during the fight. But apparently you said you're willing to take the finger.
Yeah. Let me,
is that true?
All right, let me explain it.
Oh shit, this is explaining, so that means it was true.
Let me explain it.
Well, he's got big hands, you know.
All right, so let me explain it. No one's gonna finger Raspek, yeah? Nobody. Not while I'm there, yeah?
He said...
Hold on. Nobody will finger Raspek. There's nobody apart from Al-Kaka, because he's got skinny fingers, can do that, yeah, because he ain't gonna feel those fingers anyway, yeah. Al-Kaka, you can do it because you got fingers, but nobody is touching
my brother
Raspek. Nobody.
What are you gonna do?
So if Walid's trying to finger Raspek, wait, if Walid's gonna try and finger Raspek, are you gonna put your rectum in place quickly?
No. What I'm gonna do?
Are you gonna take the fingering instead?
No. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put chocolate fingers, yeah, in place instead.
Yeah, but do you know the pigeon has everything in one hole?
But don't worry, I will protect him from a Waleed. No
Yo,
one
Raj.
is fingering finger spec.
Raj, have you
no
said...
one is going to be fingering
Raj.
finger spec under my watch.
Raj, you're
Raj prefers beans.
Raj, have you seen you're next to a lady on the panel? I don't know if that kind of moderates your behaviour, but Kay's on the panel next to you. I don't know if you've met Kay before.
Oh, is that Kay? Yeah.
Oh, Kay from Speaker's Corner. Oh no.
Yeah, you gotta change nothing, man. He's still a prick.
Yeah. I'm glad. I love all the love here, man. It's amazing, man. You know.
Maybe
Thank you so
start
much.
giving stuff though.
No. There's enough love being given around. Let me give a bit of hate a bit.
So the question needs to be asked: if another man says he wants to finger another man, is that gay?
I think it's odd.
What did you say, Kay?
That's some gay shit, man.
Kay said...
I think he said something along the lines that I'm going to find you and do it.
What?
I actually went on.
Shahid, what's wrong with you, man?
Watch for being persecuted.
You're a weird guy, man. That's why you're never going to get a wife. This weird stuff. Don't do this weird stuff in public, because you won't get a wife.
What Velle said?
If he does all this weird stuff like this in public, he won't ever get a wife.
Yeah. That's according to you, cuz. That's according to you.
Shahid, all right.
Yeah, you're already past it, Raj. You're never getting a wife.
Don't worry about that. You're gonna be my bitch.
Your parents could even get you arranged marriage. I'm
gonna make you wash the dishes for the rest of your life, bitch.
What a dishwasher, man.
Yeah, you're my
fucking
dishwasher.
upgrade with the times, man.
You're my dishwasher. You're my personal dishwasher, man. And when you finish, you're gonna blow up. Yeah, when you finish, you're gonna start blow up.
You need to find a partner.
Yeah, but Raj, can I ask you something? Just honest question, Raj. How are you so calm with Zubaydah and Waleed going from everybody's mother in this way? How can you be so balanced? It's an honest question.
First of all, I've told them and I've called them out on this. I think both, but they're disgusting in their behavior, and so is respect, finger spect.
Yeah, but
so they're both as bad as each other.
But Raj, listen.
They're both as bad as each other.
So why are you offering your own rectum?
Huh?
Why are you offering to take the finger, as it were?
I'm not gonna take it. I know people are fantasizing about me taking the finger.
Is it being taken out of context, Raj?
What I'm gonna do
take a finger out of context.
What I'm gonna do is to try my best, to stop that finger going to the rectum.
Oh, please!
Are you gonna do that? You're gonna put Sophia Lewis in front of it, yeah?
A bit like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might have to get, I don't know, some kind of I don't know, maybe put a barrier in front. Maybe
Sophia
I don't
Lewis.
know, break the finger. I don't know. Something
Maybe
has to be
it's
done.
after its own rectum. What do you reckon?
Yeah, my one's totally covered. Yeah,
Why does this man want to put a finger in another man's
It's
rectum for in the first place? Like, you know what I mean?
That's just gay, cuz. He would even say that.
Highly sexual. He's a
That's
highly
gay.
Exactly.
sexualized Punjabi. He's a highly
Why would you
sexualized
even say
Punjabi.
Why does another man say he's gonna put his finger
He's
in
a
another
highly
man's
sexualized
rectum?
Punjabi pigeon. That's why.
It's just wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is wrong, definitely. Like, we don't want.
Ain't he calling for gay rape? Ain't he calling for gay rape?
No, but that's his culture. He said like the
Is
Sphinx
it?
is called as the Sphinx.
But ain't that gay rape though? Didn't he threaten Raspek for gay rape?
In his culture, what fingers, man?
No. In his culture, like the Sphinx is the sphincter, and that he wants his gold finger. You know the sphincter, the Sphinx.
Yeah,
No way.
Pronounce it right.
I don't know, but
The
that's,
sphincter. Yeah.
but ain't that gay rape, bruv? That's gay rape, bruv.
Yeah.
Finger
I'm sorry.
finger in his bum. Finger
So, Raj, are you supporting gay rape?
No, I'm not.
Is that a new
Are you
Punjabi
supporting gay rape?
I'm not.
Raj?
No,
That's a
I'm
simple
not.
question.
But I will say this, yeah.
Like if
that
I
no
wait,
one-
listen to
Hold
this.
on, hold
Listen
on,
to
hold
this. If I say to a woman, I'm gonna put my finger in your vagina during a fight, yeah, wouldn't be classified as like a rape thing?
Threats to
Yeah,
rape.
but
Yeah.
no one is
Yeah.
gonna.
So if I wait, listen. If a man says that to another man, we're gonna have a fight, and I'm gonna put my finger up your asshole. Wouldn't that also be considered as rape?
Nobody is touching
Gay rape.
Raspek's bond.
No, but he has been threatened. He's been threatened to get fingered by Waleed, which is gay rape.
Nobody.
That's sexual assault there, bro.
All right, so nobody is going to be touching.
But Raj, it's not about Raj.
Straight up, that's a sexual assault, bro. He's calling for sexual assault. All right, go on, Kay.
Saying, Raj, it's not whether it's a reality or not. It's not about protecting the rectum, as it were. It's about what this other dude is saying, and he's absolutely correct. That if it was a woman and a man said to her, "Listen, I'm going to slap you up, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert things in you," that is a threat to rape, and that's a more serious crime than just
100.
Rod,
I've said to you, nobody is going to touch.
It's not about whether it happens or not. It's already bad enough to be threatening it, in my opinion.
I've said no one's touching.
I don't know where that comes from, but I'm guessing it's an imaginary one, to be fair.
Yo, Raj, I think your hatred for respect is clouding your judgment on this. To be honest.
Listen here, man. Me and Respect are the best of friends. How dare you say my hatred?
For real.
Me and Respect, we meet up every day. We chat on the phone at least for 4 hours. And we are best mates.
But no fingers involved.
So you prearranged to sit in his backstage?
No. We do eat chocolate fingers. Yeah, but they're Cadbury's chocolate fingers. Cadbury's chocolate fingers we eat, but not the fingers you're talking about.
Rod, Shay, if this was TYO who's been saying these things, I will imagine it will be, peak.
No, I remember TYO is an uncivilized savage, so I would expect nothing less from him.
No, but be honest.
I would expect him to say fisting and shit like that. So
because even the things
your dad's
for me, he's an uncivilized savage. He has no morality. He's a cunt of the highest order. He's somebody that needs to be deported. Deport TYO.
All right, hold on.
Deport me. I was born here. You came here from Uganda. Listen. You came here from Uganda. You piece of shit.
We want you out. We want you out. You need to leave the UK.
Is there a teacher in the building?
You need to leave the UK.
Yo, moderate.
Idi Amin kicked you out of
you need to leave the UK.
Yo, Raj, TYO, give me a sec. Hold on, because people want us to get off this topic of Zubaydah Waleed rape, finger bing, all this, it's all a bit sus.
I didn't bring it up.
I know a topic.
Go on, TYO.
It's about me. Watch. It's gonna be about me.
Listen carefully.
Raj,
listen carefully. It's gonna be directed at me. Watch this. They can't talk about anything apart from me.
Colonialism in Africa. Raj, can you be quiet now, please?
Yeah, listen. Watch. He's gonna talk about Uganda.
Colonialism in Africa and the second wave.
Go on.
The second wave sub-colonialism at the hands of the Indians.
Yeah, which included Muslims and included Hindus.
Yeah.
You are now in Pakistan.
Yes, which included Muslims as well. No doubt. But I have no ties to any connection.
You have no ties to them, yes. And you have no ties.
That was subcolonial. That was subcolonial, like masters, like
and the same way, I agree.
I have no connection.
I agree.
You have a direct connection to Uganda.
So I agree.
You are directly connected to Uganda.
All right. So I agree. You have no connection to Uganda. Same way you got no connection to the Ottoman Empire. You prick.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with it. Talk about
the
topic.
You are Indian.
Talk about the topic.
Your ancestors were Indian Hindus. Do not be embarrassed of your heritage.
It's like
you are not an Ottoman. You're not an Ottoman, no matter how much you want to be Ottoman. You are not an Ottoman.
Let's go a minute each. Minute each.
You are not Ottoman.
Okay, it's medication time.
You're not Ottoman.
Minute each.
I think you guys need to have 1 minute at a time because you guys keep on speaking.
Oh no, Shahid is gonna come with the clock.
Who wants? Do you want to go first?
Listen, I can't. You know what? Yeah, I can't even come with the clock right now because I'll go do my prayers so somebody else comes with it.
TYO, why are you so?
I just want to put
me. Why are you so obsessed with me? You cannot jump on a panel without talking about me.
Stick to the topic.
Why don't you just worry about your community up north
Right.
is raping
So
young
Raj,
girls.
I'd like to ask
Why
you
don't
a
you do
question.
that instead? You
I'd like
instead of
to.
worrying
I'd like
about
to ask
me,
you a question.
why not worry
Raj,
about
do
the
you
young girls
feel
that have been
guilty?
raping Oldham and
You
Manchester?
know, now that you've come to
Are
the
your
UK and you've learnt
community?
about slavery
Why
and you've learnt
don't
about
you do
colonialism,
that?
do you
Yo,
feel
YouTube
guilty?
can't
You worry
get
about the
nothing,
rape
guys.
and
Go on.
grooming
Do you feel
of
guilty
up
that your
north in
parents
Manchester
your
that your
parents helped
community
in
is
the
responsible
enslavement
for?
of Africa?
Has anyone noticed these lot just talk over each other? Both of them.
When you already,
Out the house
when you were
and
Yo,
deal
already
with
guys.
enslaved in the
Pakistani
hands of the
brothers
British
who
in
are
India.
You're just
raping
talking
and
over each other.
grooming
What is
I
the
know, I
point?
know, I know.
in Manchester. Yeah. Manchester, the epicenter of the grooming epidemic where you're from. You're from Oldham. Why don't you go outside your house and deal with your community who are raping young girls for the last 30 years en masse in Manchester? Why don't you do that first? Maybe I can talk to you after.
I don't have anything to do with any sort
Well,
of
you,
community
of
that
course,
does that
yes.
kind of stuff.
Is
You know,
your,
the cells I move in, they're not into
no,
Raj,
that.
You can't ask him a question and then not let him respond. You got to let him respond.
Exactly. Now, what do you want to do? Do you want to ask me questions or no? Now, what's the topic anyway?
Well,
I thought we decided that
try and
the topic was
talk
going to be
about something that's
colonialism.
not related to me.
Are we done? Are we changing the topic here?
Well, why is the topic related to me? Everything you want to talk about is about me.
Well, why didn't you mention a topic then?
About me.
Listen,
Say that again, Kate. Say that again.
Shall we talk about narcissism?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like the mistaken belief that everything is related to like an individual. Raj, with all due respect, because I've got time for you, let the man chat. He might say something productive, you know, and then you'll be able to counter him.
All right, so Kelly, when he's talking about East Africa and the colony, he's talking about my family who are from Uganda. Yeah,
I get that.
So
I get that.
So now you're butchering about reality and truth.
What I'm trying to say is, I'm not
But you're
being
talking about
narcissistic.
Islam, which is his family, technically.
What I'm saying is that I'm not, but I'm direct about it. I'll talk about it. I'm not saying I'm not. He will jump on a panel. He's obsessed with me. It's like he's a stalker. Every time he jumps on, he just wants to talk about me.
It's nice to be loved.
Yeah, well, listen, when you make 3 hours streams about me, what do you expect? Of course, when I punch you, when I come across an idiot.
So what did your family do in Uganda, Raj?
This is what I wanted to know. What exactly were his parents doing there?
Yeah.
And how many
Raj,
generations were
if you're
they
going to
there
be direct and frank about it, I mean, what was your family doing in Uganda?
Right, you gonna allow me to answer it, or you gonna?
Answer, Raj. Look, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
Abu Bilal, he's not going to answer my questions. I'm going to let you pose the questions to him.
all right.
I'll stay
So,
quiet.
yeah, I'll never answer your questions.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
You have,
So I'm going to stay quiet.
You have slandered
This is
my
going to be
mother. Yeah, you
constructive.
have slandered my mother to such a degree, saying she stole from the temple, which is now being spread around my community. You're an evil cunt.
Let's get back to the question. Come on.
You're a devil, a demon, man. You're a shaitan incarnated.
Ad hominem.
No. This guy has said you don't understand what he's done. So don't get involved. Don't get involved. Okay, don't get involved.
Wait, hold on.
Why are you stupid people that panel? This
Between
panel
me
is
and
supposed
him,
to be
yeah.
education purposes,
Between me and him,
people,
yeah, it will never be civil. Between me and him, it will never be civil. Never. Yeah,
That's fair enough. So speak to somebody else.
Oh yeah, I'll speak to someone else. Don't expect me to have a conversation with that freaking degenerate, inbred prick.
Yeah. So Darren, how are you, my friend?
So let's answer that question, Raj.
All right, what's the question?
Well, what was your family doing in Uganda?
Okay, so my family is originally from the Punjab, Ludhiana, going back thousands of years. My grandfather was a railway engineer, and so he was in a kind of a very good job, middle class, and so he was asked, to go over to Uganda to build the railway structures around there. So when he was down there, my mother was then born. He went there first, and my mother later was born in the Punjab, and when she was 1, she then went over with her mother. They stayed there for around 14 to 15 years, and I think they left in around 1962 before Idi Amin started kicking people out a couple of years later. So they went before that, and they moved back to the Punjab. My mother got married and then moved to the UK a couple of years later. Now, when they were in Uganda, I have said it 1,000 times that the Indians, including Muslims who are now in Pakistan, and the Hindus, did not behave well in the sense that they did not integrate. They created societies that were separate from the indigenous population and started to create businesses and stuff and not employ people from the indigenous population, which is not the way to do it. And so, although I disagree,
in Africa,
Muslims are
right,
centered.
so,
Muslims are centered by
Hold
South
on.
Africa. and
That's
India.
a bit like the Sikhs and the
let
building
me
industry here, isn't it? Like,
let me finish.
with
So
shop
let
fitters
me
and all
finish.
that.
So then, when they were down there, I agree, and I've said it a million times. Although I disagree with Idi Amin forcing the Indians out, which were not the Sikhs, there were Muslims there as well, millions of them, and the Hindus as well. I do understand why people were annoyed, at the way the Indians in the Ugandan state were being used as a buffer class by the British, and they were being used as a buffer class because they were in the area of all the kind of businesses and stuff like that. Do I believe that they did it out of racism? No. Do I believe that they did it because they were given a position of kind of privilege in that country? Yeah, they took advantage of
It
the
was
situation.
franchise
And
colonialism,
so
and
they took
certain people
advantage
put
of
their
the
hands up and said,
situation.
"We'll buy that."
The
It
handful
was
of
offered to many people. Only certain ones bought into it and
so
actually went ahead from India. Not many Muslims went. The ones that did go went to South Africa.
all right,
They didn't
it's
go
out.
to
All right,
Uganda.
this guy's trying to whitewash this. I will start bringing out statistics to show you how many Muslims were in Uganda and how many Hindus. Do you want to start doing it? Because I'll start doing it right now.
No, Raj, I know Ahmed is. You were in Kenya.
Don't try and whitewash yours. I can take it. I can take responsibility
I'm not
and say
whitewashing nothing, bro.
I'm not going to you.
This is what
TYO.
I'm doing.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I can take responsibility and say yes.
Again, Raj.
My people
It's
did
not
go over
mine.
there,
It's not
and we
mine.
did
As
not.
I
We
am.
did not.
I
We
have
did
no
not do anything
direct
criminal.
link.
Before anyone says it, there was no criminal
I have
acts
no
going on.
direct link.
What they did was that they created businesses, but they were not, let's say, contributing to the host society. There were businesses that were literally
They
just
were
kind of creating
creating jobs
their
but not
own.
paying taxes.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to say what they did there was right. What you're trying to do is to kind of say everybody that went to Uganda
They created jobs, which is a
were bad
positive thing.
people.
They
Was
created jobs,
everybody
which is
that
positive, but it was the fact that they weren't giving taxes that was the
was
issue.
everybody? Because what you're doing is because you got a problem with me, you're tarnishing the whole of the Ugandan Asian population as crooks.
I don't believe any
But
Asian.
that's kind of what you do to the Muslims,
let me just say something. Yeah, and I don't believe any Asian should even be in Africa.
So why? So you don't believe? Yeah, that's a different argument. But they were there.
Yeah,
they were there.
Because let me tell you something. If Africa was developed, and it was a Western nation, and it opened its borders and brought in had a policy of immigration, that's a different thing. But not under the pretext of sub-colonialism and buying a franchise into an African nation and looting it. No, not like that. And then having multiple generations stay there. No, I'm not down with that. That's
what about the Ottoman Empire that you are deluded to think you're from?
What about,
did they even invade into Africa?
Did they? Yeah, Algeria.
Well, I'll look, won't I?
Yeah,
let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Yeah, just North Africa.
Whether you're Ottoman, whether you're amazing Ottoman Empire, let's just start looking into whether they ever went into, let's say, sub-Saharan Africa, and
North
see if
Africa.
they colonized. Yeah, all right. So they did go into North Africa then. Yeah. And what do they do?
Raj,
what do they do? Yeah, hold on.
What's that got to do? What's that got to do with anything?
You're promoting an Ottoman Empire, but then bashing the British Empire when the Ottoman Empire did exactly the same thing.
I'm not promoting. How am I
exactly the same
Raj,
thing.
I didn't raise the issue of the Ottoman Empire.
Hold on.
Speaking about
let me explain. What
I'm
you're
not
trying
talking
to
about them.
let me explain. What you're trying to do is to say that
you didn't like them. You didn't like the fact that I said that I'm opposed to Asian people being in Africa under the pretext, under them circumstances.
Right,
that's what really got you twisted now.
Okay, so let me.
That's why you're really angry.
Don't get triggered.
Does that hurt you?
Your argument is this here that the British, because I've heard it before, used the Indians to go into Africa to kind of like what you call kind of like colonize it in a way.
Do that dirty work.
Yeah. So I will use the same argument that your so-called Ottoman Empire that you have the flag of on there and you're proud of did the same thing but to other countries.
Like who?
Well, we'll start finding out. Let me start looking into it, and then we'll have a proper conversation.
Raj,
anyway, let's move him back to.
No. You want to move it back because you know I've got you over a barrel.
You said you're going to look into it.
That was brilliant, Raj. You made a claim and you haven't even looked into it. You just made the claim.
Raj.
One minute.
Yo,
minute.
no,
Are
no,
you?
no, Raj,
Hold on,
Raj.
shut your mouth for a minute. Yeah. So to
Yo.
Ottoman, be quiet. Ottoman. Do you agree with the Ottoman Empire first? Let me agree. Let me find out first.
What do you mean?
You call yourself the young Ottoman.
Now, what do you mean? Do you agree with the Ottoman Empire? In what way? In what sense? Their laws, their, you know,
Empire.
like what exactly is it? It's very
The flag you
broad.
have avatar is the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, but what do you mean? Do I agree with what aspect?
I mean, just generally,
There
do
are
you
certain
agree?
aspects of the Ottoman Empire that I don't agree with. No,
Tell me what then.
like
What you
certain
don't
things
agree?
like killing their brothers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of the laws that they introduced and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not. So I can't really say to you that yes
What about
or no.
conquering other people?
Pardon?
Conquering other countries
Conquering
and
other countries.
conquering and colonizing other countries and becoming imperial over them.
What's the problem with that, Raj?
I'll tell you. You know what, Raj? I'll tell you.
Wait. What's his problem with that?
Abu Bilal, check this one out. Abu Bilal, check this one out.
Because he's gonna try and dismiss history
No, Abu Bilal, get on this
entirely,
one.
where everybody was doing it.
Yeah. No, Abu Bilal, get on this one. You know me, I can't really say for sure, Raj. But one thing I can say is that, you know, the vast swathes of lands where the Ottomans did conquer and introduced Islam, you know, the people who embraced Islam then, you know, their great grandkids today, you know what they say? They say Alhamdulillah.
Forget about that.
No, I'm telling you about the people who got conquered.
No.
You're asking me about conquering. I'm telling you about the people who got conquered.
I'm not talking about whether
my opinion is nothing. I'm telling you about
whether the generation
about the people who are Muslims today.
agreed with it.
I'm talking about the people who are Muslims today.
I'm asking
That's what I'm talking about. Who they conquered are Muslims today. Ask the Muslims. Ask the Muslims. They'll tell you. And they'll tell you what they say.
I'm not asking you whether they were grateful. I'm asking you, did the Ottoman Empire colonize countries?
No.
So what did they do then?
You tell me.
You
obviously think they did. Do you think they did? I'm telling you no, they didn't. Can you prove otherwise?
What is an empire then?
I'm saying no.
What
you said did they colonize? I said no. Can you prove otherwise?
What do you want to call it then? Colonization?
No, I'm asking you. Can you prove otherwise? You use the word. Can you prove otherwise? No. You're not gonna. You use the word colonize. Yeah. I said no. So do you believe they did?
I'm rephrasing it. Did they rule over other nations?
Did they?
Well, did they?
Did they what?
They rule over
yes,
other nations.
They did rule over other nations. What's the point?
So what I'm trying to prove is this here. This individual, the young Ottoman, who's not an Ottoman.
Connect this to Uganda now.
Ottoman, yeah.
Connect. No. The connection you were making was to Uganda. Connect this now.
TYO, let him get his point out.
Let me
get his point out.
Go on.
Let me say, so you're supporting a regime, yeah, or a particular kind of empire that went all up to the southern tips of Africa, including Sudan, all the way over to Persia.
It conquered 7 climates and 3 continents.
All the way to India, yeah. You're supporting that particular colonial empire, but you're then burning fire on the British Empire.
It wasn't colonial.
Well, hold on. If you look at the map of the Ottoman Empire, it was huge. It was going all over, probably a quarter of Africa. It went all the way up to India. Yeah, even Spain was under the Ottoman Empire. So how did they get into Spain?
The Moors.
Yeah. So did they invade Spain and colonize it, or did they walk in with flowers?
Well, actually, history tells us that they were welcomed because they were being persecuted. I think it was by the Catholics or the Protestants. I think probably the Protestants.
Oh,
it's the same with Constantinople. The Eastern Byzantine capital. That fell.
You got to understand the Ottomans helped.
Emperors.
The Ottomans helped a lot because there was a lot of political situations. The Catholics were fighting the Protestants. Countries coming to them for aid.
Right, so
the Brits, they're at war, there's blockades and stuff.
You look kind of very colonial masters that you help them. You're actually just the opposite of the British Empire. Don't try and come here with some kind of moral high ground when TYO is a supporter of the Ottoman Empire that also was probably responsible for the Armenian genocide.
Probably
you know that
responsible.
You know Armenian genocide where they killed 1 million Armenians?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Are you proud of that? On your
No.
Ottoman Empire?
There's no such thing.
There's no what? There's no what?
There was no such thing.
As what?
As what you're saying.
No, repeat it.
The terminology that you use, yeah, you choose to use that terminology. It's not defined as that.
What is it defined as then?
Yeah, it's not defined as what you're defining it as. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you tell me what's the right definition. No, tell me the right definition.
I know you brought it up. You brought it up.
No.
You go away, do your research. Do your research. No, I'm not going to do any research for you. Do it yourself.
All right, so let me.
Do it yourself.
The Armenian genocide, was committed by the Young Turks that this individual probably supports.
No. Wait. Let's get this right. Let's get this right. Everyone needs to understand this. TYT, the Young Turks. The Young Turks were responsible for bringing down the Ottoman Empire. Mine is TYO. I am in a direct opposition to TYT and the Young Turks.
Let me ask you a question.
Any action that they committed was directly against the Ottomans, and I'm against.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm against Ataturk. Anything Ataturk
did, ask you a question,
anything he did, I'm totally against.
Let me ask you a question. Would you consider 1.5 million deaths a genocide?
Depends on how they died.
Yeah.
All right. So if they were killed through, say, persecution and displacement.
It depends on the source. It depends on the source of information as well.
Is that a genocide?
On the source of information.
Is that? Would you? All right. So if I was to tell you that, let's just name a country, just for hypothetical, that let's just say Pakistan.
Let's take Syria as an example. Is that a genocide?
Yeah. Let me let's say Pakistan. Yeah.
Let's use a real one. Let's use a real one that isn't being labelled as a genocide.
I'm going to do my own one. So say Pakistan. Say the Kashmiris.
Okay, let's go theoretical.
Let's just say, why don't we say? Why don't we? I know. Why don't we rewind back 20 years? Why don't we rewind back 20 years and use the Punjab massacre? Let's use Punjab as an example.
Let's
use Punjab as an example instead.
1.5 million.
Use your Punjab as an example.
How about Iraq? How many died in Iraq?
1.5 million Kashmiris.
How many died in Iraq?
Killed by the Indian government.
How many died in Iraq? You want me to throw tears over hypothetical scenarios? I'm asking you how many died in Iraq?
I'm asking you, is it a genocide if
you're not asking me anything? I don't answer your question, Pigeon. I don't answer your question.
What?
Were they murdered?
Hypothetical.
You've already answered it. You've already answered it. You said that 1.5 million.
Each other stuff, man. It's it's ridiculous. I'm gonna say it to both of you, TYO and Raj. There's no point. I don't know why you both do it. Neither of you stop. And TYO, you've got a way less, like your mic isn't as loud, bruv. So I don't know, bruv. Just wait. Just wait each other out. Raj, maybe make a statement. He's not gonna answer your questions, and you're seemingly not answering his questions. So what are you?
I'll make my statement and let him not interrupt, and I won't interrupt him. Can I make my statement?
Yeah, go for it.
Is it going to be on point? Hold on, is it going to be on point?
Like, if it's on point, then yeah.
Just let him make the statement.
If you're going to regurgitate bullshit, then there's no point.
Whatever I want, yeah. So if you interrupt, I'll start again. And I will do that all day.
I'm not even listening. Piss off. You fucking dirty little pigeon. Get out of here.
Come on, man.
Fuck off you and your fucking little comments. Piss off. Your mum's triggered. Your mum's triggered.
Your mum's triggered. It's so easy to be a kid, man. It's not hard for you, man. Oh my god, man.
Raj, your triggered. You're triggered. You're the tone of the triggered stage now.
Jesus
Your
Christ.
The kryptonite sound. Everyone listen to that.
Everybody listen to this. No. He doesn't want me to say my piece because
he's disorientated now. He's forgotten his speech. Go on.
You know I'm going to crush
you. He's disorientated and blows that he's just received.
You're gonna get crushed when I make my
give me speech now. Go on. Get on with it.
Let's see if you can let me say it because I know it's going to hurt.
Man. Come on, get on with it now. Go on.
If you interrupt me, I'll start again.
I'm going to toilet. I hope you get fed up by the time online drama. I'm putting the phone down.
Right, so when it comes to individuals condemning empires like the British Empire, like certain individuals do on this panel, like TYO, he was trying to insinuate that the Indians that were sent over, or Muslims, Sikhs, and Hindus to Africa, were used by the colonial powers in terms to kind of maybe be used as a buffer class. I agree with that. Now, with him, he's a support of the Ottoman Empire. if you look at his insignia on his avatar right now, that is the Ottoman Empire insignia. Now, when you look at the Ottoman Empire, it was almost as big as the British Empire. It was ruling, from Africa, Sudan, all the way up to North Africa, all the way up to India at some point. In order to do that, they had to go in and colonize those lands like the British did themselves. So this guy's a hypocrite. Now, when it comes to atrocities, one of the worst atrocities was committed in 1914 to 23, the Armenian genocide, and that was committed by the Ottoman Empire. This individual, starting again. So now let's go from the beginning. So this individual,
there was no
TYO,
need to start from the beginning. There was no need to.
I'll start from the beginning. So this individual, TYO, is somebody that is a proponent against the British Empire, and he is making into a place like Uganda were used as a buffer class in order to kind of like manipulate the indigenous population of Uganda, and the British did that through colonial means and manipulation. Now the Ottoman Empire is a master of this as well. He's a hypocrite because his coat of arms that you see on his avatar is the Ottoman Empire coat of arms, or whatever you want to call it. The Ottoman Empire stretched all the way, not just from North Africa, it was actually in Africa, the Sudan, all the way down to
seven
Africa,
climates and 3 continents.
Then on top of that, this individual knows that the Ottoman Empire also used to encroach into India as well, where they killed millions of people going into India, which are his pussy ancestors who probably converted, and he's proud of that. Don't worry about it. Now, when it comes to this situation about the Armenian genocide, I would say anybody that says that the Armenian genocide was not a genocide is a goddamn degenerate and a savage. Because in that genocide, 1.5 million people died through starvation, mass murder, deportation, and basically what we call kind of maybe even like I think I kind of reduced the population by probably like 25% or something like that. And even now, people like the young Ottoman are saying it's not a genocide. But I would say to this, if this happened in any country in the Islamic world, that 1.5 million people were killed, starved, and displaced,
Palestine.
it would be a genocide.
Palestine. What about Palestine?
So with this guy, you have to understand, he is the opposite side of the British colonial powers. The reason why
hold on. What about Palestine?
The reason why he hates the British is not because he hates the British, it's because the colonial Ottoman Empire was destroyed by the Western
Raj,
powers.
has it gone from hating you to hating Sikhs now? Hating colonialism to hating
I understand why
keep it on the topic. Keep it on the topic.
So you are basically a colonial supporter as long as it's from your Muslim brothers against the kuffars or Muslims, but you're against all other colonial.
He's been talking for 5 minutes. So I'm going to shut him up now.
So you need to, when you're going through your thing, I know you're going to ignore the Armenian genocide because it just shows that you don't see people that are not Muslim as human beings. So the Armenians are just Armenians, and so you don't give two shits. But it was a genocide, and it's a disgrace that you are supporting the Ottoman Empire and are actually playing it down as being not a genocide. So you should...
Raj, one simple question. Other than the term Armenian genocide, elaborate on this actual situation and tell me about it. Tell me what you know about it, or when it happened, how it happened. Elaborate.
Well, from
my 1 minute, everyone. Other than the soundbite, Armenian genocide, tell me what you know about it.
Right. For my understanding, that Armenia was under the Ottoman Empire at the time in the 90s. I don't know exactly when they actually.
He doesn't know date. Right.
I know that the Armenian genocide happened between the times of the World War I. I think it was like 1914 or maybe between 1914 and maybe 1920. And in that thingy, the way that they kind of displaced and starved out that country resulted in 1.5 million deaths. Yeah, the Armenians are actually Christians. Yeah, and the Ottomans are obviously was an Islamic state. Yeah, so this situation is still being contested even to today. Yeah, with the Turkish government refusing to acknowledge that it was a genocide, even though pretty much everybody who is not from the Islamic world agrees it was a genocide. Yeah, and the reason why they don't want to take it, they don't want to, in my opinion, the reason why they don't want to admit it's a genocide because then they would have a problem with people probably trying to kind of maybe what they do when they try to get some kind of compensation or something, that they would
reparations.
They will have more of a legal route to go down if they admit it's a genocide. Right now, they're just not admitting it. So the Armenians.
So what about what Italy did in Libya?
The Armenians, are in a kind of like in a very difficult situation, because people like the young Ottoman doesn't really care if it was 2 million, 3 million, 4 million.
So what was the situation in sorry, Abu Bilal, what were you saying about which country you mentioned just then?
Italy, what they did in Libya. Yeah, I mean, they fought them, they colonized them for a long time, and they killed over 1 million of them. I can't remember the exact figures. And this is after when you're talking, Raj. So this happens many times around the world. Why are you so stuck on this one? One death march that happened. I mean, what they did in Libya was far worse than what you're talking about here.
Hold on, but I'm not going to say to you it's not a genocide. If people are dying en masse because they've been displaced from their homes and starved and killed, to me that's a genocide. Now, the young Ottoman and yourself are saying that this particular atrocity, where there was also like concentration camps and stuff like this, and starvation.
What in Armenia?
And confiscation of properties and all
What
this.
in Armenia?
This is happening in Palestine today, though. Like,
there were concentration camps in Armenia.
Well, that's
No, I mean, from what I understand, it was a death march. They just sent them on a march.
The Ottoman Empire.
With nothing.
Yeah, that was when they deserted the checkpost, didn't they? The Armenians.
All right, so there was, from my understanding, they say that there's 25 concentration camps were set up by the Ottoman government, in order to subdue them. So they had concentration camps. There was mass starvation, death marches, everything that constitutes a genocide occurred. If you want to say other places around the world have had genocides, I will agree with you. Genocides have happened. But my issue with the young Ottoman is that he's trying to sugarcoat his beloved Ottoman Empire, but constantly goes on about the Brits.
I never, Raj. When you asked me, when you asked me at the beginning, so you're not letting me talk now.
Is it a genocide or not? Is it a genocide?
Raj, he let you speak. We were all silent while you rambled on for 5 minutes.
Maybe you can answer whether it's a genocide, because he downplayed it and said it wasn't. But you've been given more information about it.
You're still talking.
Yeah, I know I'm talking.
Do you have no shame?
I have no shame.
Is these the manners your mother taught you? Because it's the mother that teaches manners.
Right, come on. Let's keep the dialogue going.
Come on, man. Come on.
Is this what you like?
I love
you
you,
like me to talk to you like this?
Not to take shit.
You like this, don't you?
TYO, man. Just make your point.
Don't you?
People like you.
So let me talk then.
I was told to stand my ground and make sure I don't take shit from people like you.
Your mother also told you to get married and fuck off out of the house and stop being a burden. You pathetic little fucking pigeon. I bet she also said that to you as well, didn't she? But everyone's telling you to get married. I bet they're all worried about you now. They probably think you're a
You're ruining your mind. I get it.
Are you going to let me talk?
Is ruining your mind.
Just let him speak.
Are you going to let me talk?
Thank you, Dad, so much. Thank you.
What's he talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah, so at the beginning you asked me, do I agree with the Ottoman Empire?
Yo, Ali Khan, chill out, man.
What are you saying, Khan? You lost your chest there. Go on.
Yeah, at the beginning you asked me, do I agree with the Ottoman Empire? At no point did I say I wholeheartedly agree. So, this narrative that you're going on about that I'm painting over the Ottoman Empire, it's a load of bollocks. You're trying to strawman me because I come on here and hotted you up about the fact that you were a Sikh, and the Sikhs all the way in Uganda don't look natural. Okay? You know this, I know this, we all know this. So stop trying to strawman this whole narrative about the Ottoman Empire and answer that question and acknowledge that your ancestors were involved in the subduing of the Ugandan people. Acknowledge that, embrace it. That's all this is about.
Is that it? Is that the level of your intellect?
No, 1 minute.
Have you got anything more?
Yeah, you're right. Did you hear that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you.
Raj. Yeah, Raj. This has got nothing to do with the Ottomans. Stop trying to straw man it. The topic was about Uganda, and like I said, Sikhs like you don't look normal or natural in Uganda. You know that. We know that. Especially in a third world country that everyone knows is being pillaged for its resources. It doesn't look normal. So stop trying to sugarcoat your past, which you are directly, the people in your family are alive who are actually there on the ground physically in Uganda that probably had black slaves. That had slaves in the house. People are alive in your family today who probably lived that. So I'm sorry, but don't try coming on here straw manning me about the Ottomans when I've not bigged them up. I've not said anything about them. I've not said they were righteous or they were this or they that. I've not said anything like that. I've just touched on the topic about your family being in Uganda. That's it.
Is that it? Is that it?
His silence would indicate that, Raj.
Are you serious? Is this the level of your intellect?
You mean you don't have a response to what he's saying?
No, I don't. Look, there's nothing to respond to. He said that he's not made any new
This
points.
this is the level of his intellect, yeah? Watch, observe him now. No reply.
The only thing I replied to, none of my family ever had any slaves, like your family probably did. The Ottoman enslaved a lot of people, including Khan said he brought a slave. His granddad brought a woman from a slave.
Fuck's sake.
And he was a slave.
See, I do.
The machine gun method out now.
But that was in 1900.
He's deploying the machine
That was
gun
in the
method
1900 under the Ottoman Empire. You do know that, don't you? Khan, when his great granddad brought a slave in the 1900s and married her under the Ottoman Empire.
Sake, man.
And you're talking to me about slaves? Are you serious?
You're gonna draw Khan out. You know this. You just mentioned.
Hold on. Linguistically,
this has got nothing to do with Khan. This is about me and you. In your house right now.
Hold on, Raj.
In your house right now, there's a lady who lived in Uganda as a child and probably had nannies and slaves.
Who are you talking about?
And that lady's your mother.
All right. So once again, you can see everybody. Listen, everybody. This individual has no morals. He has no izzat.
You come from a family that got fled from Uganda.
Grooming is happening.
You come from a family that fled Uganda. You openly said your mother lived in Uganda.
Young girls is happening up north.
There are documentaries. Everyone can Google the documentaries about Indians in Uganda.
Kids are being raped all over white Europe by the white man. Why are you not complaining about that?
He is indicative of what the mentality is of the Pakistanis up north.
Has it gone from Ottomans to Pakistanis now? Why are you not answering the Ugandan question?
Very little civility.
Why are you not answering the Ugandan question?
Do you not find it an issue?
Why are you not answering the Ugandan question? Did your mother grow up with Ugandan slaves as nannies?
And raping.
Did your mother grow up with Ugandan slaves as nannies?
Little kebab shops and stuff like that.
Did your mother grow up with
a disgrace? A disgrace.
You're not doing it again, you know. The Raj and TYO show.
Did your mother have a Ugandan wetness? Yes or no? It's a simple question. You live like royalty over there.
So
that's what you did.
Dan, you can see you all out. Let me say something.
Yeah.
Let try it the last 7 months.
Did you see him queued up?
My family.
Have you seen the videos of him queued up?
Ever gone to his level because I've got izzat and he has izzat me.
No, I'm putting
you have no honor.
There's videos on the net.
You have
Google
no
Idi
honor.
Amin kicks out Indians. Google them. Watch the videos.
You have no.
Look at the palaces.
Yeah, Raj. Just
the local people confiscate palaces. They go into the palaces. And these palaces were these Indian people that were living there, subduing the locals. That's what they were doing until Idi Amin came along and booted them out, kicked them, sent them packing. And majority of them, guess where they landed? In the UK, London. I.e., Raj and his family.
No. We wasn't caught. My family actually wasn't kicked out, so don't worry about that. We actually left.
So you say.
Well, no, it's not what.
So you say. It's weird, isn't it? How they left a year or two before and.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, I bet that's what they
all
all say.
But you know in Uganda.
But the reality is that somebody in your house right now that probably had a Ugandan slave as a wet nurse and a nanny.
Did you know
There's more chance of your mother having a slave than my mother.
So, well,
there's more chance of your mother having owned a slave living in Uganda than my mother living in Pakistan or wherever she lived.
Well, the thing is with you.
Yeah, that's the difference, Raj. Okay. Yeah, and that's the fact.
What I have to say
and that's
to
the
you
fact.
is that
Everybody can Google Uganda Idi Amin. Google
Idi
it.
Amin
Watch
was
the
actually
videos.
Muslim, you know. You do know that, don't you?
Pardon?
Idi Amin was a Muslim.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was. Idi Amin was a Muslim. So that's
that.
probably why.
Are you being sarcastic, TY?
No.
What, bro? He died in Saudi Arabia, I think. He went into exile in Saudi Arabia.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So why do you think he persecuted the Sikhs again?
All right, so but there are no Muslims there then.
All right, there were Muslims.
All right, in this bit, right? So now it suits you for there to be no Muslims there, right?
There were Muslims there.
Okay, so don't see that. Go on, Raj.
Because of the
Play out
Muslim
your little
brotherly
fantasies.
love, they might have not.
All right, yo. Let's try and get a little bit of a convo going. We got Kay back on the panel. I don't know if Kay, you got any input into this?
I've got to jump off.
You're a disgrace.
Yeah, no, I'm not a disgrace. Your mother's a disgrace.
Please,
your mother needs to repent. She had slaves. My mother didn't.
I need to.
What a shame. She should be ashamed of herself.
We need to show people the savagery of the young Ottoman. Yeah, he has no honor. He has attacked my mother mercilessly for 7 months, and I've not said anything about his. And you can see I've not lowered myself. I attack him, not his family. So he is a nasty piece of work who has probably said the most slanderous thing against my mother that anybody has done, which is now affecting my family in real life because of the lie he made up. Yeah, and it's not a joke. My mum.
But Raj, it does kind of beg the question: where did your family get the money from?
What money?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying, man. Only thing I can find on you guys is Fab 13. Right? That's the only thing. I don't understand how any of you lot make money.
All right, so ask the question then. Go down this rabbit hole. Say it.
I just asked you how you lot make your money, innit?
Yeah, go on. Where do you think we got the money from?
I asked you the question. Why are you asking me the question? I asked you the question.
I'm asking you, where do you think we got the money from? You must have the indication.
I don't know. Maybe you raped Africa before you left. I don't know.
Oh, so we raped Africa before we left. Okay.
I don't know. I'm asking you, innit? You just don't seem to want to answer any questions about your history in Africa for some reason.
All right. So previously, I answered quite a lot of questions, didn't I?
You answered one, but then you went on a ramble about other stuff we never asked.
I was showing the hypocrisy of a man that supports the Ottoman Empire, but condemns the Indians going over to Africa under the British Empire, because it was under the British Empire. He was trying to out the Indians for cooperating with the British and going over to Uganda. So I'm asking the opposite, the same question. You support the Ottoman Empire that subjugated how much of the world? You're talking about Africa, India, you name it. They had conquered and pillaged most of the known world for hundreds of years.
I wouldn't say pillaged. I mean, like with Spain, definitely they flourished.
Well, you're an extremist Muslim, so you don't believe that
you're gonna ignore history.
No. You believe you're right as a jihadi to go in, and take what you want from the Kuffar, don't you?
I told you they were invited to Spain.
No, I'm talking about the rest. So you know the Turks went into India as well, and they went into India and pillaged, murdered, and killed people en masse.
So
what do you think?
I don't know the history of India. I'm not.
You know, TYO's ancestors pissed themselves when that sword was put to their neck because they were Hindus, and they shot themselves as well, and they converted. Most people from, let's say, North India.
Is people tend to listen to their community rather than history most of the time. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't.
So when the Ottomans went in, they didn't give in the beginning. They didn't give the choice of the jizya. It was either you convert or die. You're right. And so there was loads of stories of the Muslims going into North India and persecuting the Hindu population. Because my family is Sikh now, but they were Hindu at one point, and killing them en masse, destroying temples. Afghanistan used to be Buddhist at one time. There's no Buddhist left. Pakistan used to be Hindu and Buddhist at one time. There's hardly any left. Kashmir used to be a Hindu at one time. Hardly any Hindus left. So when they went into India, they raped and pillaged, resulting in 150 million deaths over 800 years. Are you okay with that? The Islamic conquest of India resulting in 150 million deaths?
I know Ahmed is doing Kenya, you know, Raj.
Listen, history is history. Like nations whatever their religion was. They conquered lands. It was standard.
No, I'm not,
You understand? Like, this is just normal occurrence in
I
history.
didn't ask you that. I said to you, do you think it was a good thing?
What do I think the practices of old were good?
Like,
They were good for society back then, innit?
was it good? What do you believe that the way TYO said that he's happy that his land was conquered because he's now Muslim?
Well, that's his own personal thing, innit? I can't really comment on that, but I'll say, alhamdulillah, that they became a Muslim nation.
All right. Well, I need to shoot anyway. I've got a video playing of me and Amra, so I need to go anyway.
I condemn anything. I'm only going to protect my prophet and the 4K list. I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's fine, man. That's fine. And the thing is that
how did you understand that? I never understood any of that.
Well, you need to start listening. Anyway, I'm off.
I was listening.
Yo,
What did you say there, Ali Khan?
I said I'm only going to defend my prophet. I'm not going to defend the empire or anything.
Oh.
Gotcha.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point, Ali Khan.
Yeah, you know what, Dan? As I was listening in yesterday, I heard that what she did was on 620. I remember I had the radio when I was trying to do my assignments. I used to watch her when she was on kids' TV. She used to be on TMI, and then she moved to X Factor, Olimers. I think it's called more.
Caroline Flack.
Caroline Flack, yeah.
Yes.
She's got to do more with the court case, I think, because I was listening. One of her mates, Laura Whithouse, she did a whole show about her on BBC Radio 5 Live, and BBC Radio 1 did a whole show on this the young people, and it's all over the news now. Everywhere just covering it now.
Ali, tell the truth, yeah. This has devastated your life, hasn't it?
It's not devastated my life.
Don't lie, man.
Ali Khan,
well, it's devastated my parents' life, hasn't it?
It is because basically you've been crying yesterday, mate.
Ali weren't on the scene yesterday, man. He just broke down.
Ali shed some tears yesterday, man. Yeah.
I was doing my courses. I've got other lives in the hangouts, haven't I? I was on the scene yesterday because I was doing work.
You shed some tears for a dead soldier.
What do you mean, Shahid? At least I like women, okay? I'd rather be to women than cats.
Are you stupid? Are you... Listen, mate. Yeah, first of all, Mr. Big Man, yeah, you sound like a 10-year-old. Yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing is, I can get more women than you. Yeah, I can get more women than you. So I don't know where you're at.
Oh, please put them away, boys.
First, you have a sexual feeling for women.
Teenage business. Chill out.
I'm not a teenager.
But you might be talking like one. That's, I think, his point.
Well, he talks like a 10-year-old, so he's a kid.
Oh yeah, I know.
But then you're by example, if that were true.
He just said himself he's 9 years old.
Shahid, like, man. I don't think Kay's ready for this level of conversation.
No, I used to have some association with special needs children, if that helps. I've got patience, but this whole conversation has just been the guy just brought up somebody committed suicide. They were in the public eye. It's a shame. I don't know what the girl had going on. She was waiting on going to court and all that, but that's regardless. It's just a shame when someone feels like they can't speak to somebody, like they can't just call up somebody and offload a little bit, but rather they have to do something as drastic and as final as that. And it's a shame. That's what I think.
The crazy thing about it, I think with that is that her friend had left the house. So she had a friend staying with her, and I think there was a small opportunity that she had where her friend had left for it to kind of happen, and she killed herself. And then when her friend came back from the shops, she couldn't get into the flat, and I think her friend had got in touch with her dad, and then they found the body.
Terrible. If somebody's determined, then they're going to find a way. It's just hopefully that it takes them a while and they have a change of heart, but clearly not. So.
There seems to be quite
Conversation killer.
No. But there seems to be quite a high level of suicide within
celebrity culture.
celebrity. Yeah.
Yeah,
because I think that's the way our celebrities are treated in the UK. The press are on them, the paparazzi are on them. And we've seen this with Lady Diana. We've seen that the celebrities aren't left alone. They're harassed by paparazzi 24/7.
I think some of it is courted. Like when they're not so famous, they might seek out publicity. They might do things just for the attention. So that's fair enough. If that's the industry you want to be in, then you have to accept a massive level of like invasion of your own privacy. And the money's obviously like a compensation factor. But the thing is that it's a shame that the country as a whole, like we've got reasonably high suicide rates, but someone who lives in a bin chute and who smokes crack every day, if they top themselves, unfortunately, it's not all over the newspapers. Like, so in that respect, her life was no more valuable than, anybody else who commits suicide. That's not to detract from her, but like I said, I don't watch TV and I don't know anything about her, but it's just a shame that anyone has to be on their own and just die like that by their own hand, because you don't know, they could change their mind at the last second and not be able to, like, it's just not worth thinking about. It's not nice. I don't know.
Yeah,
she went strictly in 2014 and she was singing and she danced that Robbie Williams song dance.
Sorry?
I was watching the old interview. With McBusted. And did you know Mustard's favourite breakfast is scrambled eggs and toast with roast Kipling fish?
I didn't know that, and I don't know what a Kipling fish is. I think it's probably a kipper.
A kipper.
Yeah.
Kipling fish.
Again, McBusted and me, like, it's not my area of
Big up
knowledge or
McBusted, producing the tune. Big up
it was
Danny
McFly
Solomon.
and another group, was it? Yeah,
McFly, McBusted. And big up that Solomon guy on Dan channel. Is he your mate, Dan?
Yeah,
is he your mate, Dan?
Who's that?
Solomon. Solomon. That song you got on your channel.
No. Big up to UV Badman, though. That's my mate. Yeah, big up to Peter. He said he met her back in November.
I think it's probably not Solo, man. There's a name Solomon.
Solomon. Yeah, no, I don't know him. Solomon. Yeah.
He's in the Bible.
It is. It's a biblical name. Yeah, he's the wisest man. Have you not heard of you? Well, it's Solomon, isn't it? It's Solomon.
Solomon. Yeah, same person.
Same person. Yeah. Big up to Ali Khan and his awkward timing. Yeah, so that was Caroline Flack. I don't really know what to say about that, to be fair.
It's Jesse James Solomon.
Suicide is Ali Khan, man. But yeah, I think like Kay said, it's not just sort of people who are in the public eye who are affected by mental health illnesses and who commit suicide. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny going on what she said. In the beginning, they start off chasing the limelight,
the fame, yeah.
But then obviously once they get the fame, they can't turn it off, and it becomes too invasive. You see a lot of them kill them, like Robbie Williams. I was surprised by that one.
He was brilliant. The thing is, when there's drugs involved as well, like just your run-of-the-mill average person, if they had that access to that sort of money and they were partial to taking the kind of drugs that he did, they would for sure, I'm guessing, suffer with depression in later life or struggle to get sober or clean again. So, and that's without, like I suppose people who take cocaine already think there are people watching them, but if they're famous, there actually are people watching them and going through their rubbish and like literally calling up people they've known 10 years ago to try and find something out about them and stalking them. And really it's a form of harassment. And yet, like they do sign up for that, unless they're really naive, unless they're famous because they don't want to be and it just comes upon them, then they kind of know what they're signing up for to some extent. But I don't think it's a wholesome industry on the whole. I don't know about Britain, but for sure, like Hollywood, places like that, some of the...
Yeah, the whole industry is bad.
Pretending to be other people for a living, So why do I have to care about what they think about the environment or about the Democrat Party or about whatever nonsense they're chatting when they accept their little statue thing and then they go off and get on with their $1 billion life? Like, why does the average person have to turn their thermostat down because Leonardo DiCaprio flies around the world telling people, like, it's nonsense.
True.
And it's just worship of people rather than, I don't want to get too like religious, but it's worshipping the wrong thing and it ain't going to get anywhere. And they start to believe their own hype. I think they start to believe that they're worth listening to. Some of them are. Don't get me wrong. Like, if they want to study something and have something to say, they've got a brilliant platform. They can do a load of good. But at the same time, their industry is promoting the abuse of children, over-sexualization of women and men, violence, all of this stuff that, if you're a grown adult, you can pay to watch it. You can watch it for free. You can do what you want. But don't then try and pretend to be moral. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But that's my rant over.
If I'm honest, I mean, from the little I knew about Caroline Flack, she presented what I would consider to just be like pure degeneracy. Like, I don't get Love Island. I don't understand the premise.
I just think it's awful from what I hear.
I've heard things about it.
It's the best show out there. It's one of the best shows out there.
And you can't break it down. What is it? People just
sleeping with each other.
Sleeping with each other on an island.
And killing themselves. There's quite a few people from that show who've ended up dead.
You have to couple up and you have to end up like, it's sort of like a dream sort of like matching game, and you've got that couple up, and the idea is that one of them gets coupled up. It's a dating show, basically.
Why not just film a hostage situation in a brothel? I mean,
it's much more
for real.
It's good to forget about life and.
So it's distraction TV, yeah. It's basically you switch it on and you feel a little bit better about your life, or
superior. Wouldn't you think?
It lets me forget about it. It lets me sort of like forget about any form of anything. TV, I think.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure about the sort of the TOITN.
Children can just turn that on. Like, children can just be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what time of the evening it's on, but
there's 6 o'clock on ITV3.
Okay, so there's children that's having their tea. There's children not even gone to bed yet, and there's people who have to couple up. You say there's not like an option. They have to find someone to pretend they find sexually attractive. Like, real.
And this lady does a bit on the show too.
Yeah, not for me, thanks.
But, where do you find time to even watch this crap? I mean, you're on Hangouts 24/7.
I'm not on Hangouts 24/7. I'm only on Hangouts in the evenings. I'm never on a daytime panel. You won't find me on a daytime panel.
It's on at 6 p.m, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not
on catch up.
Watching catch up. Dan, I mainly know her for a show she used to do called TMI from 2007 to 2010, and that was a kids' TV show. So I watched it growing up. And used to get a vote on who you want to like get gunged, and I remember I voted once. That actually was on YouTube, I remember I voted for her to get gunged, like Caroline Flack, and she got gunged, and she went on a spinny round thing. And they gunge at her. That was amazing when I was a kid. That gun show was amazing, and it's on YouTube. You can watch the video of her getting gunged, and I voted for her to get gunged.
Don't you regret that now?
Why would I regret it? Because it was either him, it was either Sam, Mark, or Caroline Flack, and we had to pick one. I remember I went on my little laptop and I went and signed in and voted. It's on YouTube now if you want to watch the video of her getting gunged.
On a brighter note, what I read in the newspapers is that ministers are looking like in a definite way at abolishing the TV licence, because it was just about to come in for pensioners who didn't receive pension credit, and I think they're talking about for everybody that the BBC is going to be scaled right back and it's going to be a subscription. They say that, I think the quote was something like, subscription is the only way forward.
Why don't they just put advertising? I don't mind if they put advertising because I don't watch it.
Do you mind if you have a TV or any TV receiving equipment, which can include a phone, a laptop, an iPad, whatever little technology you've got, that they've got the right to come and knock on your door to double. Like, for me, the state doesn't need to enforce. Like, so it's it's conscription. Like it's forced propaganda for like, whether or not you think they're a trusted organisation or not. It's still something that people don't ask for. So there's literally pensioners who have, maybe their husband of however many years has died, whatever. Maybe they've never got married, but they're sitting there and that's their little bit of company. But they have to pay 100 and whatever it is pound a year, or they can go to prison. Not only just like a little pay it off £2 a week thing, they can get locked up like soon. So at the moment, it's under 75 they have to pay if they've got a TV or whatever. But to be honest, I mean, they can't use the internet, so they've got them over a barrel because most of them are not like tech savvy. So do you know what I mean? Like kids can just go, yeah, all right, I'll just watch a streaming service, like get over it. But pensioners are kind of stuck with that.
Yeah, but Kate, for me, the license is definitely worth it. For me personally, I pay the money.
Subscription, you carry on paying because at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not joking. Honestly, I will pay for the license fee because I don't watch BBC. I don't
then why are you paying it?
Because I use BBC Radio. I use BBC Radio.
Wow.
And
you don't have to pay for radio. You can't see. You don't have to pay for radio. You're funded.
Anyway.
No, I see what you're saying, but you can listen to radio for one on the internet, and for two, you're funding an organisation that in their own charter they're supposed to be fair, balanced, unbiased, presenting facts, especially like on news programs and current affairs. Whereas anyone with half a mind can see that they don't present a balanced, well-rounded, unbiased view. No human being can, because everybody's got their own biases. That's fair enough, but don't present it as facts. Don't have links with educational institutions and then present stuff as fact, like especially about things that affect the entire country and like everyone over a certain age or under a certain age. Like I don't watch TV, so to me it's kind of irrelevant, except that I hear their stuff spouted out of other people who, rightly or wrongly, like have been brought up to trust it because it's kind of government backed, because the government allow it to be a criminal offence to not have a licence for this, whatever Doctor Who, whatever they're putting out. I like Doctor Who. I'm not paying £100 and something. No, it's on YouTube probably. Like to me,
I'll pay £100 just for the radio.
People want to pay, that's great. Good luck to them, where they're getting the money from, but that's not the point. Like, that's brilliant, but just don't force people who may be lonely, who may be vulnerable, who may have mental health issues, who may just be a regular run-of-the-mill, get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go out of work, hard-working family man, whose kids want to watch stuff on a Saturday, and next you're just slamming him with some bill for what? Like, yeah, like if you want to elect to pay it, then great. I've got nothing against that, but I don't think that people should be threatened with incarceration. So they could be in the same institution as a rapist, a paedophile, a murderer, all of these terrorists. It doesn't make sense to me. It's a TV. It's like, I don't know. I get a bit passionate because there's people who can't speak up for themselves and they don't get heard. Like they just, get forgotten about.
I think the TV license wasn't. So again,
Radio 1. I listen to Radio 1. I listen to all the stations of the BBC.
You don't have to pay to listen to the radio, hon.
Well, I pay for the presenters because all the content they produce for me is good. That's what my main interest. I don't even watch TV shows or anything.
Well, then just buy a radio and get rid of the TV. Then don't have a license.
I don't even use the radio. I use the BBC Sounds app.
Right. I don't really know the ins and outs of it.
You wouldn't technically need to pay for a license though. If you listen to the radio, I don't think you need a TV license.
Yeah, but I watch BBC iPlayer sometimes. They've got interesting documentaries on sometimes.
Yeah.
And they might quote us a Saves of Sherlock or something. So for me, it's worth it.
No, I used to get threats. I mean, I've had the enforcement vans when I was at uni. I had the enforcement vans out. But I think they
I have to pay for a license fee when I go to uni next year?
It should be that if you come from a home where it used to be anyway, I don't know now, but check up on it. Don't take my word for it, but it used to be that if, for example, your parents had a TV license and you were coming from their house and going to halls of residence, then you kind of piggybacked on their on their license, but you would have to check. Other than that, unsubscribe from the BBC app and just watch it on YouTube, like 5 minutes after it's been on.
Yeah, but I want to watch all the
live broadcast. That's their issue, because they don't want people knowing too soon.
About this, because it was sort of brought up last week, the deportation thing, the flight to Jamaica.
Yep.
Any thoughts on
on that?
Yeah, on the general topic, on maybe deportation in general, or
Okay, so I didn't know much about it. I caught a little bit of don't know if it was BVM or I don't know who was filming it. Somebody was there, and I just saw like 5 minutes of some guy screaming out "blood is on your hands" or "murder" or something like that. And this is mainstream stuff, like, because I didn't bother looking into it. But from what I see, they were attempting to deport people with convictions, some of them were quite serious convictions. And I believe that they were deporting them due to that. I don't know whether it was I don't know whether their applications initially fell through or whether they'd even applied. So that's the area of knowledge that I don't have. But my opinion on deporting criminals, including British-born criminals, is it depends. If the nature of your criminal offence is against this, for sure, then the state has no allegiance to you, in my opinion, if it's a proven case, not if it's just an allegation. Do you know what I mean? Like the case of the girl from East London who went off, became a jihadi, Fair enough, she was British, but at the same time, by joining IS, de facto, you set yourself up as an enemy of the UK, as an enemy of Western democracy, as an enemy of anybody who's not an Islamic State, basically. So therefore, my allegiance is obviously to my own country, to my own people, and I would have included her as one of my people, obviously, prior to her declaring her affiliation for that. When it comes to crimes against individuals, so murderers, rapists, I don't know, just common GBH, then it's a little bit more of a grey area. But the recidivism rates show that if the person has dual nationality, or if they, I don't get it. Why do we? So if our options are as taxpayers to carry, and I'm not one of those big, oh my gosh, taxpayers, but if we're forced to either keep them incarcerated at a cost to hardworking people in this country, or send them somewhere else where maybe there's a request for their presence in a courtroom, or, like they've just got dual nationality, whatever it is, go for it.
So what do you feel about lifers and paying for their existence?
Oh, no, I don't support the death penalty, if that's what you're asking. I think that some crimes are, I think some crimes are serious enough that we must consider the fact that the person morally or civically can't really come back from that, or that society would be justified in doubting their ability to reintegrate fully into society. So that's, for me, that's a fair presumption. Obviously, I think there need to be regular parole board hearings and, input from whatever, psychiatrists or psychologists.
No, but let's say that they've ruled he's never coming out, ever. He's going to die.
Yeah.
What would be the point of sustaining him all those years?
Okay. Well, I believe in God. So the point in sustaining him would be, or her, would be the fact that they're a value, like they're still a human being, their life has value, even if it's to God and not to society. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable being the person who has to press the button or give the inject or whatever that stuff is. And I've got serious doubts about American, like the capital punishment system, only because I suppose it can never ever be proven 100%. Even with confessions, you get lunatics who just confess. Like you get 3 people confessing to the same crime, and only one person could have done it. You also get cases like in Britain with Derek Bentley, when we had capital punishment, who had specific learning difficulties, and it was a really grey area. Like his friend had system that will keep them forever. It's that same judiciary that may in the future turn around and say, nah, do you know what? Overturn it. It may say, oh, there's new evidence come to light. Oh, actually, the old bill was bent who gave the evidence. Do you know what I mean? Like new stuff can always come to light. And I think that if we're willing to, I mean, we pay millions to protect people like Anjem Chowdhury who are out on the streets, and I've got nothing, you know, him personally, if he's done his crime and he's paid his thing, let him get on with his life. But I don't know why the taxpayer has to then protect him when he's kind of the threat. That was why he was put away.
Well, this
So
is
the same way they protect Jamie Bolger and the other pedo.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It, like, morally, it's kind of repulsive. Like, but at the same time, we're not like God, so we have to go along with the system, however, like, corruptible with them. Because even though one of them's been recalled for child pornography, I think I may have that wrong, but some sort of graphic sexual images that he wasn't supposed to have, like, it's wrong. If there was a death penalty, they would have, I guess they would have become eligible for it. But at the same time, in this
where it's clear
country,
cut like that, where you caught them red-handed, you know.
yeah. The thing is, criminal responsibility in England, I think, is, I can't remember now, 10, whereas in Scotland it's 8. So depending on 6 inches over the border.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I would have a problem for sure with convicting child killers and then killing them. Like, I've got a problem with the state being able to kill people, because at the moment the state, like I say, upholds a silly TV license and will be willing to send people to prison for it. So that's the state you're going to trust with your life, when we know that there have been huge miscarriages. Fingerprinting has been proven to be subjective, because you have to get an expert and it's their opinion rather than like a computer kind of thing. There's all these, there's no perfect system of justice other than God's. So as imperfect people, we have to make the best. And I think that rather than the chance of one innocent person being murdered by the state, we're going to have to pay for the rest of them to just sit and drink tea and do yoga. Like, there may be another option, but I don't agree with topping them. Like, I just don't.
I think here you can still be hung for treason.
It's possibly it's one of there was I think there was a thing where you could kill an Irishman on, I think it was Hampstead Heath, on a certain day. Like, there are some laws that don't get revoked because they're so obviously nonsense. Like, I think it might be illegal to eat Christmas pudding on Christmas Day. You know, like, there's some bizarre little laws that
bylaws,
you just,
bylaws, yeah.
So,
well, no, I think hanging somebody for treason isn't really.
I don't.
I think that is still there. I'm fairly sure there is still a death penalty if you.
But I don't think the Queen needs that additional. I don't think she's. You know, she's just a sinner like the rest of us. All right, I'm not really pro or anti royalty. I'm just pro people. Like, so I think if she can get that, I don't think so. I think she's got plenty protection. I think she's already got a big mansion. I think she's already got bundles of money that she didn't earn herself. So let her fend for herself. She's hardly out shopping in Tesco's of a week. So it's unlikely that someone's going to, you know, I don't know, treason. If you count the state as being able to, you know, if you consider traitors to the state, then it just gets too messy. Why don't we just have none?
Like, I mean, like, Jamaica Begum could have fell under that then. If she
but that's who I was talking about earlier when I said the girl from East London. Fair enough, she was 15, but for the media to be going on about child bride, child this, she wasn't a child by the time she had her first child. She wasn't a child. Like, this is what irritated me the most, and it's going to seem really petty, but I'm from London. She's from a similar area in London, and I just thought, this girl ain't even, where was she born? She ain't got the brains she was born with. She can't even pretend to be sorry. Like, even just put it on for the camera, even just show a bit of remorse. It's obvious. If you've got any
anyway, I myself don't believe any of that whole situation. There was too many odd things in it, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that she's an ISIS bride and she's in a refugee camp with all the people that her husband supposedly killed
would have been.
Yeah. It's a bit odd, you know. I mean, dressed in the way she was dressed as well, they would have lynched her, you know.
Yeah.
So that was bullshit. She had a baby and she wasn't even holding it in her hands after the first 2 babies.
I know there was someone else with one.
That was odd, you know. Like the fact that room she was sitting in was just odd. Generally, like I don't know, that whole thing. Like the first interview, like you said, it was like
she wouldn't have been have to pull a face to show she's sorry, because no one can see her face. Like, she would have just had to make out her voice cracked a bit, like, and not say silly things like, and I quote, "I haven't done anything wrong." and then take a breath and go, except join ISIS. Like, just don't do it. Like, just woman up, or just like, I'm not advocating lying, but come on, love. Like,
Well, for me, it was like the first interview, the way she was acting, and then the next interview, it was like, right, we've had the public feedback, and you're not putting on a good enough act. You know what I mean? Like, and
yeah,
the
anyone
whole
can
thing
see that.
seemed contrived. It weren't real. It was it was there to set precedents in this country.
Yeah, well, no, we already had that guy, Jihadi Jack. So I watched an interview with him, and for my money, I'm not a psychologist, but he, at least, I mean, he'd been away for a couple of years by then in some Yemen prison or wherever he is, but he came out and he denounced his former behaviour, and he seemed broken, to be fair, but he seemed contrite. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was like, oh, I really did think that before, and I really did want to, you know, people to die, X, Y, Z, but now this is how it is, and one day, and I think he's still Muslim, he's going like maybe he said inshallah, maybe that's what I think it, but he's like, one day I really hope to come back to Britain. And I had some sympathy for him, like, and I rarely have sympathy for people who are plotting to kill anyone, but I was like, out of him, especially compared to her, and it's nothing to do with colour or even the town where he comes from, nothing. I was just like, fair enough. He seems a bit rehabilitated. It could be because he's going back to his cell in a minute. It could be that he just wants to sit and chat to the reporter. But do you know what I mean? Like, he seemed contrite, and that goes a long way in the public eye. Maybe not to a judge.
His family, I think they probably live about less than like a mile.
I think they were executed.
Yeah, they were. They sent him a couple
$100
quid.
and something.
Yeah, he went
like
to
the price of a TV license, you mean, Dan? Like,
yeah.
Who's out in the middle of nowhere, whether you think they're off to see Father Christmas or whether they're plotting death and destruction, it's a one-off. It ain't like they weren't, you know, channeling funds through like moody companies and laundered, like, none of it. It was just a little postal order or whatever, and they probably did it in their own name. And they, like, I don't think they were trying to evade taxes or any nonsense. They're just sending their boy a bit of dough, like, and then they get done funding terrorism.
I think he'd also told them another story. He said he was going to go and teach English in Kuwait or something like that, or learn Arabic or something. There was some reason that he gave, and then I think his parents might have suspected something.
Listen, even if you fully suspected, it's still your child, and you want to believe the right thing. No one wants to think their child's up to even just standing out on the street selling drugs. People just don't want to believe it. Like, even if there's contrary evidence in there, they just don't want to believe it. So, and anyone's parent can understand that. Like, even, I'm sure, who knows, I don't know what happened to Hitler's parents, but his mum still must have thought, but deep down. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a different thing, that your mum's love for you is, you know, it goes, whatever. You can throw it back in her face as much as you like, but they still love you.
I think the parents got suspended sentences for that. I think they got.
Oh, phew! What a fair and just state we have.
I think they got suspended sentences, so they didn't serve any
but
time.
They've got no. But they're convicted if they go for a job in the post office, in Tesco, in wherever. They've got that, and it's terrorism in the title of the conviction.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, inappropriate use of funds or whatever, because we don't live in a socialist state. It's just funding terrorism, which sounds horrific. It sounds like the kind, you know, like the American government might be accused of. Like, it's not a little thing.
What do you mean it's funding terrorism?
No, I'm saying they could be accused of it. It's like a big accusation, a big crime. And then when you look into the fine print, and it's like some middle-aged elderly couple sending their son £100.
That's what the charge is. It's funding terrorism. Literally, those two words is the charge.
What, just for sending their kid money?
Yeah, because he's convicted of being a terrorist.
That's mad,
isn't it?
I was going to send Bob some money, but I'm not going to do that now.
Yeah, be careful with that. That PayPal business. But I mean, I think the interesting thing with Jack, and in fact, I suppose that Shamima Begum as well, they're both dual citizens. So I think Shamima Begum had Bengali citizenship.
Bangladeshi.
Bangladeshi citizenship, and also.
But her dad came out rapidly. I'm not even joking. He came out like literally 20 minutes later. Not literally. And he was sitting in Bangladesh at the time, and he just went, no thanks. No, you're all right, cheers. Like, no. Like, all the rest of society's kind of tiptoeing round, and he was just blatantly like, no.
Hold on, the way I've heard it is she didn't have the dual nationality. She doesn't have
She had the heritage, I think.
Heritage is something,
Okay.
but I mean, how far back do you take heritage? I mean,
but I think her parents
were born here.
First generation. I don't know.
Like for instance, I'm born here, but I've got dual nationality. Even though I didn't ask for it, I've still got it. It's just.
But were your parents both like born elsewhere, whichever nationality?
Yeah, they were born in Morocco.
Generation. That's fair enough, because you could be on holiday and have a first generation like.
No, but you see, that with me, I can understand. I literally do have dual nationality, and she didn't, so she was displaced.
Yeah, I think the thing about stripping somebody of their citizenship, like I said earlier, if you outright support an association or an organisation that has vowed like the destruction of your own state, or are sworn enemies, as it were, you can't really then claim legal aid. Like you shouldn't. You should be too embarrassed to, really. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you.
She doesn't need legal aid. She can fund it herself. But why not bring her back and put her in prison?
Why should we? I suppose.
It's
That's
her country.
my answer.
Well,
it's not anymore. She's not a British citizen anymore.
That's what I'm saying. They set that precedence. They've stripped that away from her. But I mean, they've left her stateless.
Yeah, I think that's because also Bangladesh aren't stupid. They also rejected any ties with her. Her dad was living there, as far as I know, or he was there when he gave the interview. So in that respect, you've got links. If one of your parents is a citizen of another state, then you can claim. Do you know what I mean? Like that chain migration thing. You can say like, yeah, my dad lives there, my granddad lives there.
Yeah, but you see, this is the thing, like, because now it's kind of opening the door to setting sort of classes within this country. So
I see what you're saying.
Now anybody who has heritage that is not English is a second-class citizen.
No,
already,
I'm gonna add
it's true, because already anybody right now on who's got indefinite leave to remain, if they get prosecuted for more than 12 months, they will serve their time and then be deported.
Right. So the one thing I'd add to your premise, you said that now it's kind of like anyone who's not of English or British, whatever heritage.
I want to know how far back it will go.
But let me just, so it's not just people without that heritage, it's people without that heritage who then go on to join literal terrorist organisations abroad. If she'd have joined it in England, like if she'd have joined, one of these, whatever, like little extremist groups or or run out and chop someone up in Streatham or whatever, she would have for sure gone to a British prison. No one would be chatting about her citizenship. But she went off to another country with that sole purpose. She didn't go sightseeing and get sucked in abroad. Apparently she was groomed into it here. So she could have claimed Dutch citizenship because she married a Dutch guy. I don't know why nobody...
Alright, so she was groomed into it here.
And that's apparently...
It's the British's problem, isn't it? So then why shouldn't they take her and rehabilitate her?
Well, no,
they did it to her. They should rehabilitate her. Why
no, they did. No, I don't think it was British extremists who...
It happened on British soil.
Well, the internet's not really British soil. I don't know what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing. Yeah, we could have, maybe if she'd have given any indicators or any trigger offences, any like extremist sympathies like in public or any whatever, then somebody hopefully, probably not, but maybe social services could have done, I don't know, they're quite ineffectual, but do you know what I'm saying? Like the state could have tried to get involved. But at the same time, you'd have had bleeding hearts screaming out, that's infringement of her act. She hasn't done anything yet. It's only ideology. Like, it's a fine line, isn't it? You got people who are just radicalised from scratch, as it were. They're not of any religion. And I'm not just talking about Islam. Like, there could be people going, years ago to fight in Ireland, and they're not really strong Christians or like Protestant or Catholic. They're just kind of hyped up into the warmongering.
So let's say, all right, it flares up with Ireland again, which it could do.
Yeah.
And you get the English over here.
Yeah.
jumping over there and doing stuff.
Uh,
Like, what should the Irish do with them?
okay, so if it flares up, so they've just had their elections, the Republic of Southern Ireland. Sinn Féin, I think, were one behind Fianna Fáil. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've got some Irish ancestry, but I don't know how to pronounce it. But anyway, them lot. So they none of them have got a majority, so they're going to have some sort of coalition. People in the north, as far as I'm aware, I don't regularly speak to anyone from Northern Ireland, but as far as I'm aware, and it could be propaganda, obviously, but I don't think it is. The whole of the island have had probably enough. Like people who are old enough to remember, because you've got kids coming up nowadays who, it's just paintings on walls and stories and whatever and films. But the people who went through it, the people who've lost family members, who've had the fear of, hearing bombs going off or having the military in their street when they don't want them there or whatever it is. Like, I think it took a long time to build that peace, even though it's not a solution, it was a resolution to have no more violence. And enough people died fighting for peace, as it were, which is an oxymoron. But I think it's a can of worms that can stay closed for the meantime. If enough Irish people eventually have a referendum, because they're not good on referendums either. They had a referendum to leave Europe, and Europe went, nah, do you know what? You better have another little go at it. Because they said, yeah, we'll leave. So they got bleed into going back in. And at the moment, as far as I can see, they've got a set of issues that they need to work on. And I've got every sympathy for both sides. Like, I'm not God, I don't know what should happen. But at the moment, and hopefully it remains, Northern Ireland's a part of the United Kingdom. And so my loyalties are to those people who, but not forgetting the Southern Irish people who, I know people there as well. They've all been through a lot. And why should they have to go through it again? Just because the EU want fishing rights and a load of old twaddle. Like the EU are using them as a pawn, and it's playing into their nationalist kind of past. Fair enough, 400 years ago, whatever it is, 500 years, they were a nation of their own. Longer than that, actually. But the English started going over there, getting involved in their parliament, flashing money around. Obviously, Henry VIII getting help with his Protestantism. And then that divide just came and it stayed. But I don't know the answer, but I know that it's not more fighting. It's not more, people losing loved ones and kids going to bed scared that whatever, or soldiers are going to come bursting into their house or paramilitaries or, it's just a shame. It's just one of them things. They're literally neighbours. They're of the same people. But it's this. You could say the same thing with India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Like those, even though it's a massive continent, those people have got a link to the land that they're standing on, and most people have got love for the place where they grow up. So, colonialism's finished now, as far as I'm aware. But the borders that are there are kind of working. So I don't know if that answers anything, but
you made a good. I think I got your point, Abu. So you're talking about if people were to go over to Ireland and fight or join like a loyalist organisation, like are you using the same example of like you equating it to going abroad to fight for a foreign like terrorist organisation?
So let's say they agreed with the
that's interesting.
with the let's say with them leaving or whatever.
Yeah, for one, if they went over to join loyalist forces, they wouldn't be going against their own state. But I see if they went over to fight for the Republic, like for a united Ireland, if they're Irish British people, as it were, like, do you know what I mean?
Let's say, for example, Pat. I ain't gonna say he's that person.
And started calling for jihad. That's a different thing, because you can go, well, she's a Bengali British girl, so she's got kind of a vested interest. But to just pick a random spot where IS are, do you know what I mean? Like, that's her religion or her extremism rather than any cultural stuff. It's not because she's from Syria, because she's not. So she's just getting involved, basically.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Do you think it's possible that if because I don't know how many people actually went over to go and fight in Syria, but I'm fairly sure that a lot more came back than most people are probably aware of.
Yeah. And they're on watch lists and paying money for people. See that dude who got out of prison and went and stabbed some people? Well, I don't even know his proper name. Yeah, him. Yeah, they were already watching him like proper, like watching him and armed at the same time. They weren't just happy. They didn't just. There wasn't just a random person on a motorbike who was armed with a gun. And there wasn't just random shot. Like they were on him because he was probably like, I think they have red, amber, and green kind of like. Yeah. So he was obviously not ready to come out for a start. Like, so it's a good job, I think, that they're looking at extending those sentences, because murderers don't necessarily get that. You know, they get to a third of their sentence and they have to go before a parole board and prove that they're no longer murderous. Whereas, do you know what I mean? Like ideologies are a bit of a weird one, because anyone can just lie and go, oh, do you know what? I'm over that now. Yeah, now I just support football for my extreme, like, whatever. But murderers have to prove a negative. They have to prove they're not going to do something. So just letting someone out on the street once they've been locked up with probably people who have the same shared ideology, because they're in a close, you know, there are certain prisons that extremists tend to go to. I think Belmarsh, wherever. If you're going to stick them all in there.
Hold on. The way you said that is like they get a choice on where they're sent to.
Oh, no. It's chosen because of, you know, you have certain prisons where I suppose they have more sex offenders or whatever. I don't know. But I know that it's not a good idea to put them in with other people with extreme view. It's not a good idea to put criminals together, full stop, really. Like, if you think of it, because they're just going to learn new tricks and different crimes. But it's the system we've got. Yeah, someone like Charlie Manson, he went in for something minor, like, and he went in for robbing a post office, which obviously is very serious. But for what he went on to do while he was in there, it's nothing. Like, he ended up in there for all them years because he didn't want to come out. And that's the other thing, people get institutionalized and they can't, you know, and it would happen to a lot of people. Like, after 10, 15 years, they're coming out and they're faced with just mundane choices that everyone else makes every day. What do I have for dinner? What am I going to wear today? Where am I going to go today?
So are we to believe that this guy in Streatham, he could have been saved if he'd have served the other half of his sentence?
Well, he wouldn't have been there on that day. That teacher who was stabbed would not have been stabbed by him on that day. That's the long and short of it. They found his diaries. They found this internet chat stuff that he was doing, and his bucket list, if you like, was to go to Jannah and to look at his mansions and to meet the 72 ladies. Like, someone could have gone like, oh, I wonder if he's planning on like bringing that forward a bit, because anyone who wears a fake vest are going to get shot as if they're committing a terror-inspiring act at the time. And the not the worst, but a possible repercussion of this is that eventually someone's going to be wearing a real vest, and some member of the public's going to go, oh, sod this, and just chin them and blow up with them. Because everyone's now thinking, like London Bridge, this one, that one, that it's just like, I don't know, fairy liquid bottles tied to a mechanic's belt. So it's not a good look, really, for people. Like, because already, obviously, the state has said we can't be armed, but now it's going to be like, can I come around and check the size of your knives? Can I, like, it's not right. People are, on the whole, rational, responsible adults. So eventually what happens is society starts calling for restrictions of their own freedoms because of the media attention to crime, terror, all of this, while it's a distraction. Not saying it's not happening, but it's a distraction from the criminal justice system that is clearly not quite working to optimum levels, I guess.
Abu Bilal, any thoughts on the guy Abu Qasim, the cameraman who got sent down?
4.5 years.
Yeah,
he's going to do a full sentence now, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, people are sort of questioning whether or not the sentence was a little bit light, given the charges that he was up against. I
mean, when was he posting this stuff? Was it recent? I mean, I didn't really follow it too much.
As far as I'm aware, 2016 on. So he owned the website from 2011. Around 4 or 5 years later, he and another guy who's not got hardly as much publicity as he has started putting out disseminating terrorist material, whatever that involves or entails. Also, instructions on how to build, I think, some sort of automatic weapon or semi-automatic weapon, etc. And then, obviously, whilst he was on trial for 12 solid months and banned by the court from using the internet, etc., he was blatantly out filming in Hyde Park, which I don't know if either of you have ever been there, but I go there regularly, and I find that disturbing because obviously I don't mind people filming me because it's a public space and that's what, I'm there to try and reach people who watch them videos. But at the same time, it's a bit creepy because he was still uploading them to a website. The court, any half-wit who knows how to work a computer could have seen that he was flagrantly breaking his bail conditions, like turning up, arguing the case with people. I'm in a video with him where he's saying, well, I'm not in court because I'm here. And I was like, but it's Sunday. What are you talking about? Like, he was denying that he was even on trial, which it's his right to do so as a liar. But at the same time, he's filming people and you don't know who he's giving that stuff to. You don't know how it's been edited. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. 4.5 years. I don't know what the barometer for a fair sentence. I mean, he wasn't violent, but he inspired other people to violence. So, I don't know. It didn't seem that long to me. But like I say, I don't really know the precedent and I don't know what other people who've disseminated material, like what sentence they've got. But we don't know who he inspired and who did what to who as a result. So,
well, some of the conversations I've heard, I've heard theories put about that.
People love a theory.
Well, yeah, I do. I love a little bit of a conspiracy theory if there's some meat to it in that, because I don't have to call it a conspiracy theory then. All right,
Exactly.
so the argument's been made by a couple of people on Hangouts. Pat is one of those. Big up to Pat. That it kind of benefits the state, or obviously for certain groups or for certain individuals to be kind of like turned for use by the
demonized,
state.
you mean?
No,
like flags and stuff.
But essentially, the state needs informants, right? Every kind of.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know whether or not this is a fair thing to sort of level at the guy, but well, he's a terrorist, isn't it? So I'm not that bothered about it. Yeah, the theory goes that
he committed no act of terror. You could say maybe he's a terrorist sympathizer.
Well,
he disseminated terrorist material, so you can say that he was involved in the promotion of terrorism. And then if somebody was silly enough to carry that out,
if you're an individual,
Yeah,
you're not a terrorist, all right? You're just an idiot.
this is the fine line.
If you're part of an organization and you're working for them, disseminating, fine, you're a terrorist. You're part of that organization.
He
It's
calls
just
for
an
people to
individual who's
support
clearly
IS.
not right in the head.
I could have read his stuff and not been swayed one bit by it. But this is the danger, I think, to society. So in America, which is kind of closely related to our society, whether we like it or not, they had a thing called the Patriot Act that was introduced after 9/11. And what ended, and it's bizarre, but what ends up happening is that with enough propaganda and enough focus on like terrorists in your midst kind of thing, and they're legitimately there, nobody's saying that. But if you make people that afraid, what happens is they start calling for restrictions on their own freedom because it will encompass the terrorist sympathizers as well. So Americans ended up heavily supporting this act, which infringes their own rights. It means that their conversations on the phone can be listened to, their emails can be, essentially hacked, but legitimately by the government. Like anyone who's discussing these kind of, whereas these terrorists, like the hijackers of those planes, as far as I know, they weren't emailing each other or WhatsApping each other or ringing each other and explicitly talking about their plans, because that's just stupid. Like, so people call for the restriction of their own liberty, which is what the government loves, because then they can come in like the hero and go, yeah, we'll give you this.
But
I think we should be careful about hate speech and disseminating stuff, because us three, I hope, could sit and look at his website all day and not go out and do anything about it, not be swayed to Do you know what I mean? Like to actually join up to these nutty people.
I reckon they were using him. I don't think you could get put on those bail restrictions. You're not supposed to use the internet, etc., etc., and break those restrictions. Go to the park. I reckon he was still doing stuff because I mean, it said that his Twitter account had 1,700 followers. He had a Facebook page with 6,600 followers, including some closed groups. He had his own YouTube channel, which I don't know how many subscribers that had. But he seems to have operated kind of networks, and I would imagine, like if I was MI5 or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, we need to get that guy because he's sort of links.
He's glowing, isn't it?
Yeah, he's like linked to other people. I mean,
the fact that the Dawa team came out and publicly denied all knowledge of him, like even after there's a video with a well-known Dawa member's voice in the background talking to him.
But look, that's a bit silly, right? Because to be honest, them guys, they ain't got a cameraman. So to turn around and say that this guy's his cameraman.
No, he wasn't. I doubt he was associated, but they literally said, "I've never met you before, bro, but X, Y, Z." And this is months after the video's blatantly there of them talking, or one of them at least, who's got a distinctive voice, and it's in the back of a Sheikh Faisal video as well, talking to him. Like, so for that, I'm like, that sets off red flags for me because I'm like, why do you have to disassociate yourself from someone who's a no one at the moment who hasn't even been convicted?
Because of Raj. That's why.
I don't get involved with all that.
They wouldn't have done that had Raj not made noise.
Right. Well, yeah, Raj makes me laugh, to be honest. Like, I've got a friend who listens to his stuff and says that they don't stop laughing, really. Like, not in a horrible way, just that he's funny. But I don't know. Like, I've met him a couple of times, but I don't really. Sikhism's not my area of, like, I just know that there's a book that's meant to be a guru. They give out food to homeless people. They got temples, Indian, that sort of thing. Like, it's not, it doesn't really set itself up against Christianity, as it were, like, in that respect. Not that I know of, anyway. So I tend to go for religions that deny Christ, kind of thing. And it's gone quiet now.
No, you're all right. I'm reading through these. These charges, man. I mean, what you were saying earlier on about Anjem Choudhury, like my theory on Anjem Choudhury is that he is used as like a honey trap. He's the guy that they leave out, and he attracts all of the nutters. And maybe it works. I don't know. Maybe it's like
he's the guy who I've seen on British TV, literally telling someone they're not welcome in this country, chatting about fatwas and blah blah blah. But he's also the guy who's a solicitor. So when he does go away, you know that he's exhausted every avenue of appeal or dodging the bullet, if you know what I mean. And just the bill alone for like housing him and putting him up and keeping him on benefits. I don't begrudge anyone benefits, to be fair. Like, if someone's entitled and in need, go for it. Do you know? Like, seriously, it's not I don't suppose it's the best lifestyle choice, but people need help. I mean, a lot of people have paid in to the National Health Service and the tax, you know, all of that. But it sticks in my throat when it's people who are against the state, who literally, like, just, they're always going on about, but this country and the state and this, that, the other. But then they're taking the handouts and you think, well, I don't know, like, pick a hill to die on, but don't bite the hand that feeds you. And that gives you the liberty and the freedom of expression to be able to insult them, which is your right to do. But then, you know, if you want to be on a moral high horse, at least, I don't know, get money to feed the horse from somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on how you see these figures, like these Sheikh Faisals and Omar Bakri.
Reported back to the deportation question. He was Jamaica wanted to have a quiet word with him, and America also wants to speak to him. So I know that he's in the West Indies at the moment, but I know he's like there's some sort of extradition process, at least an attempt to get him to America, which isn't necessarily a good thing because they haven't got the best record of, like, you know, treating detainees. But at the same time, if he's done these crimes, how's he going to be tried otherwise? I don't know what the answer is. Apart from don't do it on camera if you've got these really contentious views. I don't know.
Omar, sorry, Abu Bilal, what are your thoughts on like Omar Bakri and Anjem Choudhury? Do you think they're possibly closer to the state than they kind of give off? Do you think that's like possibly like a cover, or do you think they're kind of, I don't know, do you take them at face value, like, as they sort of say they are? I was talking to M Stacks about this the other day, and he was sort of going along with the innocent until proven guilty. They are what they say they are, kind of thing. Whereas I'm a bit more suspicious. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't really follow a lot of all of that stuff. I mean, I try not to actually follow the media as much as possible nowadays. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't. What's his name? Chowdhury. I don't know nothing about him. I ain't gonna lie. Just other than what people are talking about on here.
Bruv, if I was a Muslim in the if I was a Muslim in the UK, my Google searches would be dread, because I'd be wanting to find out about all of these people, but I'd probably get myself on a list just by googling, you know. So
well, for me in particular, yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I mean, it's.
No, it's not even that. I'm saying this for real though. Like,
yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
I ain't saying it to try and protect my ass or nothing like that.
No, but bruv, this is kind of the theory that I have. I would imagine 95%, probably more, 95% of Muslims in this country don't pay any attention to the.
Yeah. It don't come up on our radar. Like, I mean, you've got to probably be going to some sort of classes somewhere which he's holding, and you know, and it's going to be in communities. It isn't going to be like widespread, and they're gonna sort of like coax you into something. But if you ain't in that, then you're never going to be affected by it.
My experience with him was, apart from just when I did ever like see the news or anything like that, apart from that was I saw a couple of interviews with him. I thought he just seemed a bit smarmy, to be fair. Like, he's from North London. He's not far from me. He seems quite an intelligent guy. Like, I think I saw an interview with him for a British publication, whatever, they filmed it. And I think he was a debater. He's a solicitor anyway, and some sort of preacher. When it came to, once he's convicted, then obviously you can look into that. But my experience only came about from going to Speaker's Corner, and then you've got followers of his there. And the reception that I saw them getting, or the statements I saw them giving out in his defense, like, I don't know. That's why I bothered to have a little look. And as far as I know, like, he's just there's nothing special about him. And I don't know that I hold with the theory that just because someone's been convicted, like, it must be some sort of like subterfuge. Maybe they're just being hung out to dry. It's possible. Like, maybe he's associated with people who are a bit worse than him, and maybe they thought if they nick him and have him away from the public eye for a little while, them other people will start getting scared that he's chatting about. Who knows? Like, that's a possibility, but I think he did the things that he was convicted for. So, well, I hope so, because otherwise he's got a case for wrongful conviction.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of fudging statistics here, or making it seem like there's a threat when there isn't that much of a threat, and so people are made to do things in order to inflate statistics.
Yeah, I mean, you can
seem like it's a worthwhile thing.
Yeah, if the media focuses only on terror-inspired stabbings rather than just the literal everyday stabbings that happen in London, even, or just up and down the country, that's a skewed perspective, because it's not, you know, young black kids, for example, stabbing each other. It's nothing to do with terror-related, nothing. It's probably to do with some postcode nonsense, or a pair of trainers, or drugs, or whatever. And that's a shame if that gets overshadowed, because but I will say that focusing on people who've just been released from prison for terrorist stuff and then do more stuff, that's got to be used to put pressure on the government to change them regulations, because clearly something ain't working. And that's not to say that dude on London Bridge, the guy who tackled him was a convicted murderer who was out on the same day release or whatever they were attending as well. And I thought to myself, I think he was a couple of weeks off his release date or whatever. And I just thought, well, they should just let him out now. Like, he's already paid his debt to society in his imprisonment, but he didn't have to jump on the guy. He could have just sat there and watched. Like, he didn't need to be a hero, and yet he was, and he probably saved people by doing that. So I just thought there's no recognition of that, apart from his blooming face plastered over the newspapers. And I was like, oh, give the geezer a break. Like, why are you letting everyone know what he looks like?
Did anyone ever find out what that guy threw away? That bag of pills or coke?
Oh, do you know what? I saw that little video and I was like, what? Like, if that would have just been on a CCTV in Hackney just after a stabbing, you better believe that there would have been sniffed up. Someone would have been there within seconds, even if it was just someone watching from a window.
But something must have happened to him, 'cause he must have been at the same ex-offenders conference as the other guy.
I think he was old Bill, the geezer who was coming towards the camera.
You
I think he was undercover.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So whatever he did, it was littering at the very least. So he's breaking the bylaw there. Like, but it just looks suspicious. I mean, wow, it just looked like a parcel. Let's have it right. Like, I don't know. It didn't have a stamp on it, put it that way. I don't think there's a post box located on the bridge there. I don't know, man. This is the thing, though. Like, I've seen videos about the 7/7 bombings and all. Like, you can wedge a theory in any way you like, and some of it for sure. Like just the thought that they were having a drill that day in the right place at the right time. Come on. But to try and then say it ain't the people is another step over that. But literally to be having a conference from a prison and somehow the man manages to attach 2 knives to himself, which must be fiddly anyway, without cutting yourself, and then get past, surely there would have been whatever, prison workers, someone on the door, even just to double check people are being allowed in, the right people. And then for him to get, I don't know, it seems convenient that they happen in little clusters. But then it just could be the loony effect. Like, one inspires the other. So back to your point, sorry, I don't know your name, the other guy, but back to that point about it's a bit convenient and, what the media focuses on, they just focus on whatever sells papers. The news, as it were, the TV news, they don't really care about the truth because they're not a court of law. Even a court of law is not the truth, but they're just out there to make money, same as any other paid organisation. They'll accept propaganda as long as it fits in with their narrative, as long as it fits in with their alleged ethics that they've got in their little contract or their terms and conditions for their customers. They'll turn on someone quick as you like. They'll be defending someone one day, next thing, and then it comes, sometimes if you read newspapers regularly, every now and again, you'll just see like a 2-inch square on page 39 going, oh, by the way, that whole front page was all nonsense. But it's a tiny little space retracting it, but they had the front page cover going, and a lot of it's just accusation and innuendo, and no facts have been proved until someone goes to court if it's about a crime. So I don't know. It's exhausting. But yeah, they're in it for money, pure and simple.
Fucking hell. Bare drama on the other channels, man.
Is it anything to do with what? Sorry, you'd say a name because I was just about to.
Zabida and Waleed and
Rax
and Ras. Yeah, it's been going on for a little while. I think I've
never heard nothing like it in my life about fingers. I don't want to get back onto that, but I don't think that's a cultural thing. When I see Waleed, I might have to just mention that, like asking for some case study where he can produce one bit of evidence that Egypt has this weird. I don't know about that.
Where are you from, Kate?
London.
Yeah, that's obvious.
UK.
But I've met you in person. But
is it?
Yeah.
Did you come to the park?
Yeah. We have the same jacket.
Oh, okay. I think I might have commented on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Yeah, you don't strike me
You know,
as
your
English.
picture looks like Waleed, you know. I've got to say it, that little iPhone picture.
Looks like Waleed.
That's just the eyeball. You can only see an eye. So, yeah, anyway, sorry, I just diverted you. What was you going to say?
Yeah, but yeah, you don't really like strike me as typical English. You look more kind of Greek, if you ask me.
Oh, what, the look, you mean?
Yeah.
No one's actually like 100% English that I know of. I've got a few different things, Irish, Scottish, different parts of Western Europe and that. But no, I think, the Scots and the Irish are like, they have like reddish hair and stuff like that. But I'm just pale because I don't just lay in the sun. Well, there ain't no sun. So we're different. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what typical English is, I suppose. Maybe darker hair. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, your features, in a sense, where they were more kind of Mediterranean than English.
I've been to Greece. I can't remember. It was years and years ago. I could kind of blend in Europe, if that makes sense. Like, I've been to quite a few European countries until I open my mouth, and then they think I'm Australian if I'm like talking with like a broad London accent. They always seem to think you're Australian for some bizarre reason.
Yeah, look, somebody in the chat was saying they thought you had some Italian or something. Yeah, you have this Mediterranean look about you.
That's what I'm saying. There must be a generic European look that I don't know. Yeah. As far as I'm aware, I did my family tree like years ago. Okay. I got quite a way back, and it's hundreds of years in Britain. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind, I suppose. I wouldn't want to be part of the EU, but yeah, I've got some heritage that's European. So, but it's far back. So
was you happy we left the EU then? Did you celebrate?
Yeah, I went to the Brexit Day thing. Listen, there was just so many people there. But the thing that came across to me the most was, and I'm not just saying it because I wanted us to leave the EU, but I didn't see one bit of trouble. Like, that people was just friendly, talking to each other, having a laugh. Like, there wasn't any drama that, apart from BVM, I think someone like pushed up against him while he was filming. But I think he was just in the middle of saying, I can't see no far right, no Nazi. And the person obviously just heard him say far right and Nazi and must have thought he was, I don't know, like Remainer or something. But apart from that, I didn't hear of any drama at all. Just chatting to and untold people from outside of London as well. I see a couple of people from the park, but apart from that, all I could hear is like northern accents and, you know, Swindon, them all different.
It had to be though. I mean, if you look at, I think London pretty much voted to remain, didn't they? So
yeah, comparison.
It had to be the out of London crew coming down to represent. I don't think anyone would have been out.
I'd have been there. I'd been a bit lonely with my flag.
Fuck you though.
Joking.
Well, I think it was. It's an excuse to sell a couple of flags. An excuse to wave your flag if you got it.
Sure. Then people, it's like ticket touts. They're not bothered who's actually singing, or do you know what I mean? They're just out there for the money. Good luck to them, I suppose. But I don't know how they get in touch with a taxman. I'm only joking.
That's all off the box.
All off the box. Paying them a load of money for nothing. As far as I can see, we've got homeless people of our own. We've got hungry people. We've got like people who ain't well. We've got prisons full up. We've got all this stuff to be getting on with, and yet we're giving them like hundreds of millions of pounds for what? Like, I didn't get it. And I used to be like a bit more left. I used to really like Nigel Benn, and he was traditionally Euroscepticism was a thing on the left.
Tony Benn.
Yeah, sorry, did I just take the
Nigel,
boxer?
Yeah, the boxer, yeah.
Okay, it's been a long day, you know. I've been standing in that park in the cold.
Oh, did you go to? You went out to the park today?
Yeah. I was missing it because it closed last week. I was like itching, but it was so cold, and there was just hardly anyone there. And then there was a bit of drama, like a little bit of pushing and scuffling, whatever. Then a few people just left, just went home. So in the end, I just went to a coffee shop and I was after 10 minutes, I still couldn't feel my legs, and I was just like, no, I've got to go now. But yeah, it'll be back to normal next week.
I was gonna go as well, but I see somebody saying it was dead. There was nobody there.
Rex never turned up, so he's like kind of the go-to, because obviously people double check before they go. They just have a little look on his live stream to see who's there or what the weather's saying or whatever. And if there ain't no one streaming, I saw Let's Unite up on Hack, that guy filming, but I don't know if it was live.
Yeah.
When I first got there, everyone was huddled under the little cafe bit. I was like, oh, please.
Yeah, I got my Osmo, you know, that stabilizer thing.
Huh? Say again?
Yeah, telephone recording stabilizer. Like BVM's got that thing.
Oh, the little, the little gizmo. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I got one of them today.
Oh, okay.
But I just didn't go to the park. I thought it was dead and the weather was shit. So I thought
it was bad. It wasn't. This is the other thing, though. That was a lot, I think, personally, to do with the weather warnings and the don't go on a train, don't go near the window, just stay under your covers. Definitely don't. You know, all the like fair enough. 2 people got swept into the sea in Kent. Like it ain't no joke. Don't get me wrong, but just pumping people with fear when still people have got to get up and go and do it. I could go on about old people a lot because, like, I think of my nan a lot, but there's people who have to go and visit relatives to, you know, make sure they've got food and da. So no one's thinking they're just staying at home. Like, no one's waiting for Noah to turn up again. Like, life has to go on. And it wasn't even that. I've been there in worse rain, put it that way, and there weren't no weather warnings. So I think they should differentiate between. Obviously, if you live at the coast, it's like, but someone was saying it to me in the park today. They could play that old footage of the seaside with the water coming over the edge, put out a weather warning, and who's going to be double checked by the time you've cancelled your plans and, I ain't going on a train or a plane. It could be nonsense. Look at the big hurricane that we had. They was going the night before, nah, it's all nonsense. You're all sweet. And then I woke up and there's trees everywhere. So, who knows? But yeah, I did miss it. When it was closed for 1 week in 200 years, I still missed it.
Yeah, that was surprising.
I know, because even the picture they showed in the little press release was full on snow with someone walking through the park, and I'm like, hold on, that ain't the best picture to show, because they're showing worse weather and you were still open. But yeah, in case a twig hits someone. Like, really?
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, trees, isn't it? So I think somebody did die from a falling tree, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't think those trees are. I think they were talking about falling branches and stuff, which is fair enough. But one, maintain your property. They've got thousands of trees throughout the 8 royal parks. So get on with it. Furthermore, the parks near my house weren't closed. So basically, if you're not in a royal park, it don't matter if you get bumped on the head by a falling log.
It's a council's problem.
That's it, isn't it? Have a claim up afterwards when you get rid of the amnesia and the whiplash or whatever. I don't know.
Let's see what's in the news. Let's see what's cracking off. Yeah,
find a happy story if you can.
Yeah, that's a struggle.
It is a happy one. Caroline Flack committed suicide.
Oh,
fucking hell.
Oh, no.
Elton John halts concert due to pneumonia.
What a shame.
I
bet he's devastated. I bet his next pay packet, he'd be struggling for a pint of milk, wouldn't he?
This could be the death of him. He's probably got HIV.
He does a lot of work for HIV stuff. So
I hope he does.
He's been going for donkey's years.
Yeah, man. They're keeping him alive, man.
Some sort of Satan pact. I don't know.
Yeah, slow.
No good news.
Slow news day for good news, I'd say. Yeah. Extinction Rebellion activists block city roads in Cambridge.
So they're terrorists now, aren't they?
They should be. They're just Egypts. They're not even. There's no terror involved. But like for me, when they blocked off London Bridge, whatever it was, they're forcing people to to pump the brakes on their cars, giving out more fumes while they're in the big traffic jams. They're spraying up places with graffiti that take chemical-based like solvents to get the graffiti off. I'm thinking, where's your PR man? What's happening here? Like, you're literally doing stuff that's harming the environment to tell people they're harming the environment. Like, but some judge who just tried a few of them, even though they're a registered organisation now, like terrorist, whatever it is, or
extremist
that'll do,
organisation.
yeah. So this judge said, we need more people like you. And he basically just bigged them up for about 10 minutes. And then I don't think he let them go. So the judiciary are just a law unto themselves, aren't they? Right. But yeah, that he's just bought into all. I just don't believe in the science that says that human beings have created climate change. For one, because there were ice ages, presumably when there were about 3 people on the planet. Like, what were they doing? They weren't flying around. They weren't driving cars. They were probably just burning bits of wood. If they had fire by then, I don't even know. But there were flood events in all religions, but there's been,
Wait, this is the guidance that the Met Police is giving, possibly even prevent, on Extinction Rebellion. What you might see and hear, yeah? So group logo and propaganda materials. The group produces freely downloadable leaflets, posters, placards, banners and stencils. You may see them, the group's logo, or the phrases "tell the truth," "rise up," or "rebel" among individuals' personal possessions, on electronic devices, or on objects like buildings, lampposts and school lockers. You may also encounter these symbols and phrases as graffiti on walls or drawn by pupils on bags or exercise books.
Oh no!
Yeah, they got like a proper like.
I just got scared for a minute. Go on. And what are we supposed to do? Any law-abiding citizen? What, you just sort of shut your eyes a bit as you go past the lamppost? What are we meant to?
Yeah, I mean, so it's got a little thing that says, "Why are they a threat?" So they're considered an anti-establishment philosophy that seeks system change. The group attracts young people to its events. Adults are.
Do you know what it attracts? A load of pot smokers and rubbish. They never got a toilet with them, these people. Just pure sleeping bags and BO, as far as I can tell. Like, what are they doing? Like, all right, don't use deodorant, maybe CFC, whatever. But use a roll-on. Like, find a shower somewhere. Get a job. I don't know. Like, there's got to be suggestions. Like, get a job in a PR firm. Get a job in an ethically based, I don't know, soya producing, whatever gluten-free something.
Apparently
Get Greta Thunberg on the
not
case.
Too good for us,
What, soya? Nice.
Well, the agricultural side of it. But
there's little bunnies. There's little bunnies being killed in them combine harvesters, I'm sure. So
no, I think they're taking up trees and planting.
Yeah, they do in I don't know if it's the Amazon or some tropical climate, but they produce is it corn syrup, something like that, where they just rip up whatever's there, and they're just like cutting down forests where animal, like all that. So they got to pick a battle, really. They got to pick a side to, like, if you want to produce stuff that's gluten-free, taste-free, fun-free, like, I don't know, pick one area to focus on. Don't just be for the environment, because they're damaging the environment by coming with their rubbish, camping out in places, not tidying up after themselves, getting nicked. So the old bill are too busy policing them, having a couple of joints, then out to the kids that apparently Sadiq Khan ain't got the money to give the old bill to look after. Like, I don't get it. There's people getting stabbed in the street, and yet we're meant to worry about Woodstock 2.0, whatever it is.
Have you seen the new thing that's going around where they're telling you to jump and they kick your feet out from underneath you?
No.
It's a new craze.
Some new challenge. All right.
Oh no, it's not exactly a challenge. I don't know.
They're on a building? What, like, where are they when they're jumping, from the floor, or?
Yeah, they're on the floor. It's like 3 people. The person in the middle, like, they're all jumping.
Oh,
but
like
they tell the person in the
skipping?
middle to jump. Yeah, and when he
But the
jumps, they
leg is
kick
big.
his feet out. Now, it sounds funny, but 2 kids have died already.
What?
That's shocking.
Because you're kicking their feet out. They land on their head.
Their head on the concrete, exactly. Yeah.
It's quite serious. Like,
This is the power of the internet, though, isn't it? You get these, like, I don't know, not like the ice bucket challenge or whatever that was, but kids eating raw chilies and I don't know, detergent, like
Cinnamon,
Persil tablets or
yeah.
whatever. Like, it just showed, like,
It's called the
I don't want to
Skull
go political,
Breaker.
but the education system is not what it was. Like, it just ain't. Like, you never, like, all right, they had world wars to deal with, but people in their 70s, 80s, 90s, when they was teenagers, the worst they was doing is playing on, like, skips and, you know, bomb sites, whatever, like, you know, being exposed to germs and that, and Germans maybe, but they weren't eating, like, washing detergent. They weren't, they just weren't thick enough. Like, they had enough real life danger without putting themselves in, you know, oh, let me just be a sword swallower. Like, they just can't find it because they're just dumbed down, kids nowadays. I don't know why. Like, they're not valued. They're like, you know, youth centres get shut down. They look funny at, you know, they have gyms and that for young kids to go and do boxing. Good luck to them. Like, they're probably not smoking if they're doing that. They're probably not out drinking, but they don't get no funding. They don't get no recognition for the fact that they're helping kids without much prospect, you know, actually have an interest or music or whatever they're into. Good luck to them. That's the whole point of being a kid, that you're an idiot. That is the fact of it. Like, it's only as you get older you realise that older people actually know something. And by then you can't tell no young people because you're one of the older people who they think don't know anything. So, I don't know. It needs to be taught.
So look, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get this popping.
Ooh. So it's not really a challenge because the kid in the middle, I'm guessing, didn't know that was going to happen.
No, it's a trick.
Like a prank thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
Oh.
Now these guys put the pillows down. They caught her. They knew.
She missed the pillows though. Fucking hell.
Yeah. The idiot. She could.
The thing is, you can get bleeding on the brain. You can get. Oh, there's a phone number showing on the screen when you do that, bro.
Yeah, don't matter.
Yeah, they can't see it out there. They can't see it.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, the first one obviously was the worst one. But you know.
But you can break your back. You can, like, and that's the thing. Like, imagine that. Like, there's cases of kids who go out driving and that, and they're not really too big on the drink driving, like, laws and that, and they, like, when it does come on top, and they either have to get chased by Old Bill or they crash, and that person's got to live with that for the rest of their life. Like, so imagine that you kick someone's legs from under them just for a joke, no real bad intention. Then they just smack their head, have a bleed or swelling on the brain. Like, then that's that person for life. Like, they got to look at that person's family. And that's the thing about youth, it's wasted on young people. Like, it's cliche, but you don't realise what you got till you're old enough to look back fondly. Like, because at the time you just think everything's terrible. When you're a teenager, it's all about, oh no. Like, it's all so dramatic because of your hormones. And then you just realise, oh, what was I involved about? Why do I care if people think whatever they like? You get all idealistic, you this, that, the other. But yeah, you smack someone's head off some concrete and you soon grow up when you're standing in a courtroom being tried as an adult. So yeah, just for what it's worth, I'm against that. I don't want to curtail people's freedoms, but it's just silliness. But funny at the same time.
Well, no, I mean, it's sad how it kind of spreads through the schools quite quickly. And, you know, obviously the kids don't have a real grasp on what's right and wrong.
Exactly.
You know, and yeah, I mean, if 2 have died already, you know, it could be a lot more deaths, you know, even though kids, you could sit them down and tell them not to do it.
Yeah, they think that you're just, oh, they're so boring. They just want to stop me having fun. Oh, I can't believe it. It's so unfair. Yeah, they don't actually talk with that voice, but it's something like that. No one wants to listen to a teacher, or if a policeman comes in the school to give a talk about whatever. Kids ain't in school to really, well, As far as I know, they're just there because they've got to be there, innit?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then if they do want to do well or study properly, they're going to have the mickey took out of them by other kids who, like, I don't know. They get rid of grammar schools and things like that to try and, I don't know what the word is, give equality, like of outcome, when that's not a thing. Because in life, you're going to have people who are more interested in music than religion. More people who are better at maths than they are at woodwork. It's just a thing. Some people are better, not because they're just born gifted, but because they're more interested, so they put more effort in. If you put more effort in, you get more results. But they have this thing of, you can't tell a kid they're wrong. You have to be, do you know what I mean? Like, when did that all happen? Kids used to get the slipper or the spoon for being late. Now you can't even look at them sideways because you might get stabbed in the playground if you're a teacher, I'm guessing. So I don't know where it ends.
Yeah, I
But
mean, they've taken discipline away entirely, even from the parents, to be honest.
exactly. What's it got to do with the state? Fair enough. I'm not talking about beating or anything like that, but there's a thing as a parent, there's a thing when just the relief, the anger, like if you see your kid about to put their finger in a plug socket, without hesitation, I would slap their hand away as hard as I could. Like, it's one of the, you're not rationalizing it. You're not thinking, oh, should I? It's just it's just like animal instinct kind of thing. You're going to do whatever it is to protect your child, even if it means temporarily hurting your child to protect them. Like, in discipline, in the right hands, and the right hands should be the parents. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, if it's proven that the parents are just dishing out licks at left, right, and centre, then that's another thing. But that's the other thing. The state plays nanny, and it presumes that people are too thick to raise their own kids, and it ain't true. Whether you're working class or upper class, you've got just as much chance of being successful parents as as anyone else. But they give less education opportunities to people in working class areas or poor areas, and then them kids have less aspirations, or they might have the aspirations but less facility to get there. And then obviously, like, it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. You tell kids they're thick, they try less because they don't want to get embarrassed anymore, and then they become less academically able. And then maybe it's not till they're over 18 and they have to start paying for education that they realise, oh, actually, yeah, I'm quite good at that. Yeah, I want to be an engineer or whatever it is. But unless you give people the option, you can't have equality of outcome. It's simple. I don't want to be a footballer. Like, there's plenty of young boys who want to be footballers, but I don't want equality of outcome with them. I want equality of opportunity to, if I want to embarrass myself on a football pitch, let me have the chance. But thankfully, for everyone, trust me, I don't. So, yeah, equality is only decent when it's for the chance, not for the outcome. Not everyone's got it in them to be an entrepreneur, and that's, thank goodness, because we need people to work, we need people to manage, we need people to raise families, not be pressured into going to work. That's what makes society, not just like robots, just doing what you're told you should be doing. Because you're a man, you should be doing this. I end up with I don't know quite a lot, I've noticed. I think I know secretly. Yeah. Exactly. But you get to the end of your little branch that you're arguing on, and then you think it's quite quiet out there. Let me just wind it down a little bit.
Yeah, we have to soaking everything you say. It comes a lot of it at once. We have to digest that.
Yeah, normally I'm an interrupter. Like, I find it irritating about myself, but it depends the conversation. Obviously, if I'm talking to someone who knows what they're talking about, then I'll just sit back and listen. But it's when you get like earlier that panel where just people are just shouting over each other and talking about stuff where you're thinking, is playtime over yet? Is a teacher gonna come along and just, I don't know. I'm not really interested in Raspberry's Bomb, to be fair.
Well, there's
I'm
three.
sure he is, but
I think there's 3 panels that are going over like the drama from that situation, so people can get that if they want to.
that is a sad indictment of just internet society, let alone the wider world. Like, for real, Waleed, I got a lot of time for him. I've spoke to him personally. I think he's a nice person. as far as I'm aware. Like, I haven't heard all of this stuff. I just hear it secondhand. But when I saw him a couple of weeks ago, he was telling me about something that had happened previously. And there was this big expose he was going to go down. But to me, it's just like, I don't watch EastEnders on purpose. So I don't want to watch Middle EastEnders. I don't want to. I just don't want to do it. Like, and respect is when I've spoken to him once or twice, and I don't know. I feel like he needs to come down on one side of the fence. You got when there's two religions that diametrically like claim different things about the same God. In effect, both can't be true. And it would be nice if we lived in a world where, it can be true for you.
Yeah, but he doesn't believe the same thing you believe anyway.
I know, but he comes across as if, like, to an outsider, he can sound pretty Christian at times, and then he can sound quite Islamic, and I'm like, bro, where are you at with it? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, if the difference between your Christianity and his Christianity is the same fundamental difference that we have with you, which is Jesus is not God.
No, the other fundamental difference is that we have is that Jesus, even if you think he's just a prophet, was crucified, whereas obviously in the Quran he wasn't crucified.
That's all secondary. The fact that you're calling him God is our main point of contention. Everything else is just, I don't know, people just want to argue.
Yeah, the Quran calls him, the Quran, if you take the word Allah to mean God, calls him the word of Allah, and the Bible calls him the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
And that, in that phrase, biblically, divinity is ascribed to that, because obviously God's word can't be separate from God. And even Quranically, God's attributes, or Allah's attributes rather, can't be separate from him. He can give his mercy to the world, but it's still his mercy. Even if you receive it, it's still his. Like,
but this is the interpretation you choose to take on, though. That's not the interpretation we are telling you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jesus said it himself. Other people in the Bible said it. And then they said who the last prophet is. Like, they said after this, the law and the prophets are done. Like, so then for me personally,
who said that?
It's in Luke 16, chapter 16, verse 16. So for me, like, I've got Muslim friends. Obviously, we don't chat religion too much, but I genuinely, like, because people, there's people who say, oh, I got called a hate preacher once. I was like, wow, really? I haven't even started preaching. I'm just like arguing. But yeah, I haven't got anything against Muslims. Like, really, I can imagine growing up in a religion that, you know, just taking it on face value is what I did with Christianity before I became committed to it, before I left it, came back. So I haven't got anything against those people. I've just got something against anyone who demeans my God. So, and I don't mean the people, I just mean the ideology.
You see, here's the thing, all right? Because we would argue that you are demeaning God by calling him a man.
Okay, so Yahweh, as in the Father, as in God, but Old Testament Yahweh.
Yeah.
He's demeaned, for me anyway. I know that he is a faithful God. He does not break his promises. I'm sure Allah's the same. He doesn't go back on his word. He doesn't change his mind. He doesn't need to change his mind, for one, because he's all-knowing. So anytime he says something, he knows the outcome centuries and centuries down there. He knows what's going to happen. He doesn't need to say something and go, oh, do you know what? No, I'll tell you a better thing to do.
Yeah,
he doesn't do
I have
that.
no disagreement with any of what you just said, because you referenced all of that to the Father, what you call the Father.
Well,
and I have no issue with that. Yahweh, the Father, that's God. You understand? I don't mind everything you just attributed to him. But when you start attributing it to Jesus, that's where we have the issue, because he is a creation.
No, see, the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible in John 1 says nothing, and that means literally nothing. I'm not being facetious. So nothing was created that was not created by or through Jesus Christ.
Who said that?
It's in John chapter 1. I think it's between verses. So verse 1 is all about, in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. Then verse 14, the Word became flesh, dwelt among us. And around that little area, so maybe 15, 16, it says nothing that was created apart from him. Nothing he basically by him and through him. So by him because he's the word of God, and through him because Yahweh spoke, or the Father spoke. And when he speaks, there Christ is. And even Christ says it. And obviously in Surah 19, he's pure, like he's not a liar. And he says to the Father, glorify me again with the glory that you and I shared before the beginning. Like, so John is saying that in the beginning, there Christ was, or not Christ, the word was. Christ is saying that before the beginning, the creation of the world, he shared glory with the Father. No man can do that. No angel can do that. No demon can do it. Like, only God is God. Like, it's just the Trinity. I understand it's like not an easy concept, but Allah's got the word of Allah, the spirit of Allah, and they can't be separate from him, but they're distinct to him, because obviously your word is not you, but it's also not, definitely not mine. It's your word. But I don't know. It's not, this is it. It's not a hill to die on for me, because God is the judge. So, you know, who he wants, it tells me in the New Testament, he preordains it. He foretells it and predestines it that you will come to him if that's your path. So I pray that, yeah, I don't want to see people in hell. Well, hopefully I won't see them, but I don't want to think of them as being there. So hopefully the truth is revealed to everyone who seeks it, like, earnestly. I don't know. But yeah, I get a bit argumentative. So, yeah. But I always get surprised when people don't like me and they haven't even met me yet. I think at least meet me and then don't like me. But don't just start in the back chat, you know.
Yeah, Halima. Jokes. No, Halima's one of the few people on Hangouts who actually knows, like, yeah, she knows where I live, so I've got to watch what I say. Halima might come and get me. I don't want that. But yeah, big up to the 19 people watching. I think we're gonna lock off in the next 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna get an early night and get myself a bowl of cereal and go and listen to some of the madness going on the other panels. I can't lie, I don't like hosting it.
You're itching to get onto the madness.
Nah, but
and then you're going to sit there another stream saying, can you believe these people getting involved?
Nah, but this is it. I can't really bring myself to jump in because I don't. Yeah, it's not my battle, man. I don't really. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's even as well. The people involved, they can handle themselves. They don't need any backup. They don't really need my added my opinion or whatever else. So yeah, I'm just gonna go see what's going on, because the grounds, speakers corner or these hangouts or whatever, the ground shifts really quickly, man. People are like friends and allies, and you know, you're debating on the same side as someone one day, and then the next day. So you kind of got to keep up. It's part and parcel. But yeah, I try not to play into it.
Before we get off, like, I don't know how true it is. Well, I do know how true it is. Someone sent me a couple of links to YouTube videos, but in my humble opinion, like, there's banter, there's bitchiness, there's freedom of expression. Say what you want. Do you know what I mean? Be careful, I would suggest, when you're publishing stuff or putting out videos that are calling people sex offenders and paedophiles and things like that, because unless you're taking that in front of like the CPS or, do you know what I mean? It's a really serious accusation, and for people who have been abused as children, for one, it's the same as calling someone a Nazi because of you know, they've got nothing to do with fascism. It's just like a label that people know is like offensive and it will trigger. But the fact is, there are people who are, without naming individual cases, there are people who will just accept a YouTube video as like factual evidence. So the risk of physical altercation over something, that kind of accusation, for me, is not worth it. If you know something for sure, why are you sitting on YouTube? Why aren't you in a police station? Why? Do you know what I mean? Like, don't risk having someone attacked in the park that apparently I like the park. I don't want it closed down. I don't want people getting hurt there. I don't want it. And for me personally, until someone's proven guilty of something, I take the opinion that the benefit of the doubt is what makes us one of, you know, innocent until proven guilty, sets us apart from other societies who don't have that luxury. So whether I like someone or not is beside the point, but accusations of that nature are just, I'm incredulous that they're sitting on YouTube and people are watching them and taking them seriously, or not taking them seriously. But I think it goes beyond, you know, just little bitching and backstabbing and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there, 100%. I think, yeah, the same goes for people calling people like fucking terrorists and jihadis and this and that. Like, if it's that deep, go to the police. Don't put it out on Hangouts. Don't just make stupid little accusations to throw around, and because it's just slander at the end of the day, and it's if you're not gonna
and it dilutes the real term.
Yeah.
So
100%.
there are literal Nazis. No one's denying that. I mean, most of them are in their 90s or dead, but there are, you know, there's the KKK. There are extremists. There are like literal IS or ISWP or Al Qaeda or whoever they are, or like fundamental Christian. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, it's not about an idea, like a religion. It's about people who are willing to defend their beliefs with physical violence being justified as part of the package, or thinking that they've got the right to abuse children because they're less likely to speak up for themselves or be able to defend themselves. And just, you know, just like it's an emotive subject, and I just do not agree with, like, people have been people have been physically attacked over accusations that have got no basis for that sort of thing. Like, so, and to be fair, like, is it sociopaths or narcissists? One of them, their thing is calling out things that they are anyway. Like, there's a trait in people where, because I've heard people shout, a guy at the park today, all he kept over and over, "Are you mad? Are you mad?" And in the end, I'm thinking, you're the one who's coming up with it crazy. If it's your go-to like insult, try having a look in the mirror every now and again. Like, if you feel the need to scream in people's faces because they're not buying your sort of brand of nonsense, either get a different brand or try and present it in a better way. If you're out there really saying that you believe in one God and that you want people to come to that one God, don't act like an arsehole, excuse my language. Like, try and, even just the law of attraction, like, even it scripturally, obviously no one just jumps in and knows, no one ever knows all of it, but start with what you've got and ask questions and keep asking questions, and don't worry about people. If people ain't got time to answer your questions, find someone else, because there's plenty of people who genuinely care, Muslims, Jews, Christians, Buddhists, who've got time to talk about their faith, and they will help you, like, come to a conclusion. It's when people start trying to force it down you, Christians alike, like, you just think, who are you? Go away. So yeah, that's my ending parting rant.
All right, Abu Bilal, have you got a parting rant?
No.
No.
No parting rants.
Oh, you're eager to get off then.
Nah, man, no, that's cool, man.
Well.
I want
to get some entertainment.
I want to press this stop streaming button so I can start swearing. But yeah, big up to the chat. The stream is going to end when I click this button.